Hi, we're waiting for John Moody to come and find us, but we're going to start without him and hopefully he'll come soon.
Possibility exists.
So, you didn't get a word in last time because we were mostly just dealing, with talking to Jen. But you were very, very sweet to Jen, and Jen was very, very sweet to you. And it was very nice for me personally to see you guys talk to each other. What was that like for you?
So I had the pleasure actually of I don't know if you even know. So it doesn't record when you enter the room. So you could kind of have Jen was just hanging out. So I actually got to talk to her for 20 minutes in advance. And I mean, I wouldn't say we got each other's whole story, but it was enough of a girls sesh that I think we both felt comfortable because I think just as nervous as I was, she was, because I sat down and I go, I think I'm gonna vomit. And she goes, oh my God, you're here. And I was like, oh, hi. So it was interesting in the fact that I didn't know her, but so quickly we could connect in so many ways that it made it comfortable.
We should probably keep that then. I almost like that element of it's because it's almost adds it like it's a late night show. Like you guys are meeting backstage before the big event, kind of a thing.
Kind of what it felt like, and she she was really cute, and I was able to tell her a little bit about my story, and she's a little bit about hers, and I could tell before we went into it that she was definitely processing a lot in real time.
Yeah, and she was drunk, and the whole thing is we're not perfect people. We're adults that have no therapy, no real way of dealing with this. If you're on my fucking podcast and you wasted, you swear I don't care. There's no rules here. We're adults. This is not for children. This is about saving children someday. This is
That's the
about
goal.
us someday maybe finding freaking therapy for what we went through, finding out some way that feel better about it. And it's not this is not we are all survivors here. We're all one. This is
But you're on
not
Misfit Island, baby.
this is not a fucking part of the survivor community cult. There will be
No.
nobody telling anybody how they should be talking. There will be no use of the words infighting. When we were talking, we were constantly talking over each other, and it's just because when we're talking about this subject, we can't stop. We've been wanting to talk about this for our whole lives, so it gets crazy.
We're setting precedents. This is not, there is no handbook on this. This is not in a DSM anywhere.
Right. And the people that say that there is rules to this and that there is a protocol to being a survivor are freaking selling you something. Yeah, it was I came to the community, I thought that they needed help because nobody was telling the story of Sea-Doo. I tried to get all these people to go on straight out of BS, but they felt weird about talking to a kid that's sitting on his bed smoking weed for 4 hours that wasn't
We were friends
edited.
at one point, I guess, Facebook friends. I know what you're talking about.
Did you ever
I know
go
what you're talking
straight out of
about.
BS?
I did not, but I do know that he has platformed a couple people from Hyde repetitively on there.
And the thing is that he hasn't put on a podcast in months. I looked at
I
his
didn't know
channel.
that. I don't follow him. I'm sorry.
He hasn't put out anything in a really long time, but he did put out a lot of, I was on his podcast 3 times. For a long time, for a few years, I feel like it was archiving us, but I feel like it was also cataloging us, and not in a good way.
I could see that. It was tracking good and bad. I understand that.
Right, because it kind of became the who's who of the survivor community, right?
See,
You
I
weren't
didn't
in the
know that.
survivor
I didn't
community
realize
until
that was
you
that platform.
confessed you told your story on that, and then you were a part of the whole thing.
Because he indoctrinated you and you gave him collateral. I keep telling you, I refused. I did it on my own.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, it's that whole Scientology thing even. It's
But I
come to
don't know if that's
community,
worse.
I told you all of my secrets, all of my deepest darkest secrets cuz that's what you do. And then now everybody knows them. And
So
yeah.
can I say something here? Because I think this is
Yeah.
really on brand for everything I'm doing right now. So I don't know who may or may not know me from the Trauma Barbie platform, right? Because I'm just Megan, literally. But that became my moniker to be able to cope with my trauma and be able to I figured if I'm gonna do this, I'm not gonna let anybody weaponize it against me. So I went on hot 48 hours, right? That was over a decade ago, I think, at this point. And I wasn't ready to tell my story. I look back at that. That's a scared little girl. That's a hunched over little girl. But that's the beginning of Trauma Barbie. I did my hair. I did my makeup. Patty Arnofsky, the producer, so proud of me. She's like, you don't know how gorgeous your eyes look. And I was like, okay, I'm going to tell my story my way. That's why I didn't have my last name. So then one day I was sitting in a bathtub in Lordstown, right? On my farm, well, the farm that I lived on, not my farm, but the farm that I lived on. And I wrote it all out and I posted it in a hide group. And then the vultures circled. And I thought these were friends, these were understanding, you know what I mean? And I had 5 years since that in 2001. I was in a lawsuit for 2 years. I couldn't say shit. I was bound by this and that and retainers and all this bullshit. And then finally on Easter, I came forward and I wrote a post called My Fucking Redemption. And I posted everything in that lawsuit everyone would ever weaponize against me. And I was like, go ahead and try to use what I went through to hurt me again.
And how long ago was that one?
That was I lived in this house because I felt safe when I did it. So it would have been the first year, about a year and a half ago, probably.
It was like we found you not too long
Like
after.
6 months after you found me when I was running in the inked comp and I was falsely pink slipped.
I
I was
think
like,
that
I was doing really well in that comp too. Like,
I think that I'm wondering how many pink slips that we're gonna find out are actually
do
freaking
you know
survivors
how I
in
got
there.
pink slipped?
What I'm
Okay.
saying is that even like whatever you think happened, I think still
She gave
those
that letter to the
people
cops and
were
that got me pink
influenced.
slipped.
I think that those people that did those to you were influenced
But she
by you.
took that letter and gave it to the cops and that's what influenced them if someone told her to possibly do that.
That's what I'm saying. I
That
don't
I'm
think that the people that did it, I think that they were told to do so by
Do you know
people
I
in
have a picture
survival
of the
community.
cops with the letter in their hand? The picture that surfaced of me with my hands like this, with
Why
them
was
being
I in
held
the
back.
hospital and they were so adamant that I did not know Paris? Like, do you know what I mean? How would they
So
know?
adamant I was the aggressor, called police so many times.
It's because somebody was calling them, telling them so. Do you know what I mean? That's
It's
what
just
I
nuts.
think.
Like, I'm 5'2" nothing, and like I'm not even feisty. Like, I'm really
But
a
if you have
bitch when it
enough
comes to fighting.
people sounding very professional who've done this before multiple times to many people successfully, they know what to say.
So once I got pink slipped, I got out. Well, they tried to probate me in less than 72 hours, which is wild. And I'm like, I'm a fucking notary. You can't do that. I know that's illegal. So one of the social workers helped me work with them to get out. They kept me for a week. The second day my husband visited me, I had a black eye. The photo that my intake, I had a black eye.
That's funny because we have that in common too.
So I reversed Uno the police and I went out and got my mental health first aid responder certification to be trained in crisis intervention and understanding crises and helping assist. That's what led to like the NAMI award and the trauma Barbie and the speaking out. And so like that's how everything kind of like weaves together, and trauma Barbie is Megan, and I'm trying to do all of this. And when I came forward, and like you said, you went on a podcast that weaponized everything. I chose not to, but I also think that I fucked up my shit in another way because like everyone's been trying to ruin my life.
I don't think that it was weaponized. I just think that was almost like a silent indoctrination. Do you know what I mean? Like you're like it was like welcome to our family. You got to tell all your secrets and now you're a part of us. Like it's
I got
it's
bullied. I got harassed. My husband got falsely arrested because of a welfare check by another survivor I begged them not to do, that they say they didn't do. I mean, I've like, this has been, and that happened a year and a half before fucking Trauma Barbie even existed. My husband
because the
got
whole
arrested
thing,
because
yeah,
of a survivor
because
welfare check
basically
during the middle of
like
the lawsuit.
what people don't understand is that the reason that we know each other, right, is because over a year ago, the one survivor that I trusted, my Yoda, my freaking
Yeah. Oh,
my
okay. Yep.
spirit guide throughout
Done.
this entire thing is Christian the Wanderer, which is
Yep.
so
Yep.
funny 'cause it's such a spirit guide goddamn thing. Because see, dude, that was like they taught us like a really big thing that was like Joseph. Okay, so Joseph, the whole Joseph Campbell thing, right? Joseph Campbell made something called the hero cycle, and it was applied to a lot of famous stories like Star Wars, like Indiana Jones, like
Okay.
and so because basically like and when you to make a really good story like fable or any kind of story, it involves a hero, right? So he wrote about the hero cycle. So when you are going to go into the spirit world, you have a spirit guide. So like in Star Wars, that's Yoda. Or like
It's giving
Indiana
Native American
Jones.
culture too.
I don't know who the spirit guide is in Indiana Jones. In like
I
the
don't know.
first one, it's that little Chinese kid.
I've
That's
never
like his
seen
spirit
them,
guide. But there's always that like, or like I guess in Harry Potter it would be Dobby, or that, or maybe the spirit
probably.
guide would be fucking the owl, or
Maybe
but you know
Snape.
it's like
It could be
that little
Snape until
elf.
he dies.
That's like like yeah. But then there's also these rites of there's all these things that you have to go through to get to the other side, like belly of the whale. That's like in Star. You've seen Star Wars, right?
Well, think about like Dante's allegory, like the nine circles of hell.
It's very similar. So that what?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So like, what is
Speaking
like?
allegorically.
So like a leap of faith, like that's one of the things in Joseph Campbell's hero cycle, belly of the whale. That's also like in Pinocchio when he's in the whale's belly.
Okay.
That's
Tinkerbell.
but that sorry. Did you say
Tinkerbell.
time out?
Sorry. Me? No,
No, you
Tinkerbell.
no. Oh, Tinkerbell. Peter for yeah, perfect. So Tinkerbell is a spirit guide for Peter Pan. Perfect. That's yeah, that's exactly what that is. Peter Pan has a ton of Joseph Campbell in it, yeah, because Peter Pan
Okay.
has, I think, in like he has a lot of walk the plank situations for Peter Pan, but because he can
Okay.
fly, so that would be a leap of faith.
Okay.
Where you have to trust, like whatever, to close your eyes and walking on something invisible. That's like a sort of leap of faith or whatever.
Okay. A trust fall.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
So in
All
every
right.
hero saga, you have to like leap into, and you know what I mean? Yeah, but it's also like in Indiana Jones. Remember when the ball is following?
Really
I don't
haven't
know, but
seen
there's
them.
just all these.
Right.
Joseph Campbell has just, historically like kind of set up like what, but it's because it's also like It's just in all great works. There'll just be certain things that are I guess
They're
it makes
included
sense.
no matter what. The
But
framework.
so yeah. What did I start talking about Joseph Campbell for?
You were talking about
Forgot.
Christian the Wanderer, your spiritual guide, your person, how
Right.
we met,
So
and you were explaining to everybody like how this kind of
When I
intersects.
started realizing that I was in the cult world, right? Like when I was dealing with, because I knew that this was a cult, and I was like, I'm like, where's my fucking, I was like, I need a teacher, right? And so that's when I found Ann Peterson, because I was running
Okay.
around looking for a fucking adult in a situation with all these people. Like I tried Gloria Allred, I was like, I need an adult, basically. Gloria Allred said, find Paris Hilton. I was like, well, and then I finally, when I got Ann Peterson, was on her podcast, and then immediately after was on the fucking Cult Vault.
Yeah,
And it
okay.
was
I
like
remember
I
that.
had found adults, but it was like I'd found like I had, because also The Matrix is basically also Joseph Campbell's The Hero Cycle, because finding finding Ann Peterson was finding my Morpheus.
Okay.
Do you know what
Wade
I mean?
makes
But
jokes that I'm the Meg Tricks.
are you the Meg? So it's like, so you
I
would be
just
like, you
but
might,
I
I
get it.
mean, but it's like it's like, who are the other people that, the girl, there's like that whole crew that like we all have to travel along to like help, I'm not saying I'm the one. I don't think there's any the one, but
No, I
like,
think it's a bunch of ragtag misfits that were cast abroad that might end up coming together and creating more change than people thought were capable.
because the thing is that, because it's also like, did you read the fucking thing that I wrote about us being in the occult? Or that like the pattern recognition shit? The fucking
Yes, I
MK
did
Ultra?
because like I always write about pattern recognition. Yep, that's a
Because
thing with us.
when I was trying to figure out how to write that with fucking Claude, I was like, the first two versions of that made me sound like I was gonna be a god starting my own cult. I was like, Claude, I don't want to start my own cult. Turn it down. Okay, Claude, still, I'm not a god. Turn it down again.
Yeah, we
And
don't
that
need
was the
people
one I
in
got.
like
The other ones
any
are in my
hashtag
phone
cults
and
over here.
egotistical speeches, like egotistical as fuck speech, and I am not a god Claude speech too.
Yeah.
Like it's like,
Nope. I
because
know
it's like
posts that might
because
sound
it was
like
like,
that, but
don't
not
be afraid of
from
our
you.
pain makes us special. We can see things the other world cannot. Like it was like
See, like my pattern recognition isn't like that. Mine is weird. It's like I'm almost like a human lie detector.
but I mean that's what we all have.
I
We
know.
all
No,
have
like
that.
that's a
It's not
survivor
normal, just so
skill.
you know.
That is hashtag survivor skills. Those are what we learn because of our experience that nobody understands. So we can't have anybody extend. Like I was in a conversation with another survivor the other day, and he like they had a tornado run through, and then I had a tornado run through, and we were just talking about tornadoes the day before, and I'm like, you put this in the universe. You know what I mean? And even my husband said that. But it's like we have a manifestation ability. We have an ability to say, I know, you don't need to explain, and you actually know.
Right. It's no, 'cause it's when Kristen called me and like, cause she's like, people are fucking about to bully you really bad, and like, you know, I like
I
you,
had no
and
idea.
I dealt with her enough online that I trusted her too. Because I had screenshot a bunch of fucking things that when she was screaming at Hannah K. She was like, Hannah K, why the fuck would you friend request me? Don't you know I fucking hate you? And I had that screenshot on my phone. So when she called me, it's like, will you fucking some no, I'm like she's like I'm like, I wanna know what the fuck's up the breaking code sounds lawsuit fucking dot like I spent fuck hours of my life I'll never get back. I still don't know what the fuck that shit is. She's like, I'll explain to you what I know of it. And when I knew what her version was the truth that she knew, I was like, okay, you know, and that was the first person that fucking told me the truth.
Well, I think the problem is there's so many versions out there and there's no real safe space to find answers. At least coming in after what you went through because I did not know because I like marched into survivor world like, "Hey, fuck you, here I am, guys." Like I'm ready to own this
Well,
shit.
what's
But
funny
like,
too is Christian's not 100% correct either, because I've repeated to the people that Christian's told me what she knew, and they've kind of laughed and been like, okay, it's almost like that. You know what I mean?
okay.
Like, like she's close, but it wasn't like exactly, you know, but it's like, it's close enough that they don't need to go back and correct her, kind of. So,
But like, I mean, it's still ongoing. Like people are still filing lawsuits in petty nature. And it's insane to me. Like I've had another survivor that I trust. She's like maybe like another Yoda. I have a couple Yodas. Like
let
you're
me,
one of
so
my
wait,
Yodas.
hold on. Let's see if he's just written me back. Has he written back yet? No.
But she messaged me and she's like, "You're probably gonna get sued." I'm like, I probably will. But if the truth gets me sued, the only thing that will make people understand is said truth. Because like contemporaneous evidence is like really big. Like really big. That's why I document in real time. Because I can't
Right.
I don't have to wait on my memory. I could be like, oh wait, I sent that email on this day. Here it is. Let me forward it. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing is that we don't even know. Like,
It was
it's
an
so
IP
hard. The
theft
whole thing
issue
is like,
that
I can't like if you can ask AI to fucking tell you what the fuck the history of the Breaking Code Silence movement is, it can't because four there's four made by Katie and only like two real ones for AI to look at.
I just know that when I originally had the fallout with the girl that I was close with that brought you and I together, it was because of an issue of IP theft where she was in my messenger, like, oh, go sue them, get your bag. Like, you establish your brand, you're Trauma Barbie. And then on
Yeah,
my
that's
post, she's
see that
telling me
see
that I'm
that's the
nobody, I don't
crazy shit is
matter,
that
blah, blah, blah,
you
blah, blah.
shouldn't. Why the fuck would anybody give a shit about that? That's the whole thing. Is that she was making you do some shit that's super fucking culty. Their behavior. Do you know what I mean? Like you can come up with another fucking name. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
I
you know
mean,
it doesn't
my
you
name
know
is Megan.
your name is Megan, but it's also you're whatever fuck you want to call yourself. You don't own, you know, like somebody trying to be like you own that nickname. That's them trying to make you do shit. So you should just never
Possibly.
do it. You know,
Well,
like
I ended up getting kicked off the lawsuit because I told the lawyers that I was being bullied in the survivor community. I reached out to
and so that's the whole thing.
Unsilenced.
That was her whole
I told
point. You
Unsilenced I was being
understand? It's
bullied
like
2.5 years ago. And they're like,
her
we'll
point
keep our
was
eye
to get.
out.
It's like that was her point. You know what I mean? Like she wanted to get you kicked off the lot list. So she made you do some. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Probably. I'm just not, I'm gonna like put it at the universe didn't
It's
have
not
that in
your
the
fault.
cards for
Like it's
me.
not your fault. I'm just saying like it's
I just
super
have the
obvious.
emails and I have all my records and I have their records and what they did was very unethical and I'm just going to leave it at that. And if that's a firm representing survivors, I caution them to be much more trauma fucking informed.
And we should make a notice right now. So in the last 3 years that I've been doing this documentary, I have had at least 12 to 20 to 30 people, survivors, send me their private correspondence from the Justice Law Collaborative that is telling them that they can no longer help their lawsuits and that
And then
their
tries to
only
silence them.
resources therefore after are from fucking unsilenced or breakingcodesilence.org. And I think
I love
that is,
the sentence that they add to in it as a recipient of one that says, "And because of the confidential work we did on your case, you are not to speak about anything."
and the hilarious thing is they sent me one and I've never filled one out. They just sent me one like it was spam. Like I've gotten shit
Their
from them. Like,
disengagement letter from me is wild. They say it's because you spoke out when I have an email 2 weeks earlier that's like, "Please speak to the Portland Press Herald."
no, because it's the so if you feel like you've been kind of screwed by the Justice Law Collaborative, please tell me because I would like to know.
Or you
Because
can reach out
I
to
just
me.
it got to the point where I just started recognizing that same freaking
Yep. You
emblem,
knew
like
it as soon as I sent it. As
their
soon as I
crest. I was
sent
like,
it, you're
why
like,
do
"Oh
I
my
keep
God."
seeing this over and
Yep.
over and over again? It's the only freaking law firm any survivor has. That's kind of weird, and I don't think that's like right.
Provo didn't use them. Teen
They
Challenge,
needed
I
somebody that
didn't
would
use
win.
them.
They needed someone that would win. Ba-dum, boom. Um, Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? That was
Yeah,
not won by
I
the Justice Law Collaborative.
no.
You're not kidding.
No, and there was if you go, this is private, edit this out. If you go onto the Hide link tree, remember they erased me everywhere? My story is still there because my story is still in Fortnite. And then on top of that, there was the prior law firm that was trying to represent us before fucking JLC ever intervened, but it's an archived post. Somehow this firm didn't pick up the case, but there was a firm prior to JLC taking it and doing this and silencing people. And now saying they're trying to use it as there's only the one participant. Everyone else is part of classes. If they can't get the class certified, they're silencing you if you spoke to them.
It's all such
That's what I've
horseshit.
heard.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's, no, it's, yeah. That was like, I didn't make anybody fucking sign anything to work with me because, like, you know, like with my documentary, because I don't want people to feel like they couldn't tell something. Like, they're proud of it. Like, go tell people you're in a fucking documentary. It's your childhood pain. That's cool. If you want to, what, you want to be a co-producer? Go make business cards. Just as long as you know, help me sometimes.
Well, when I
You know
was
what I
talking to
mean? Be
that
proud of
survivor
it.
that
Like, you
I
know?
pitched you, the survivor I pitched you, I told them, I'm like, I trust her with my life. You don't have to worry about her editing you in a bad light. She's going to make you look like you at the end of the day, or she's going to clarify why you don't come across as yourself. You don't need to sign anything. You could say what you want. You don't need to give us documentation. I would love if you did. I already have the photos.
It's just
It's
like,
legit.
it's this, like,
Survivors keep rolling out, like they're coming out of the woodworks. Like
what did fucking Katie Mack do on the fucking news? You can tell me.
I didn't watch it. I didn't
You
watch
didn't
it.
watch it? You just saw that
I
she's on the news
no,
like
I
this?
just saw that it happened and I
What's
had
so
to take
funny is, like, none
action.
of us watched it. We were like, we don't even, we can't. We're like,
I
don't.
was like, why aren't they? Okay, if you're gonna platform someone from fucking Provo because it was Provo that was shut down, why not go with Jen Robinson from Teen Torture Inc., who's not a fucking bully and hasn't terrorized the community
Yeah, and
and
she's like
makes a difference?
nice
And actual
and like really, and
then building a
also
bitch Barbie cult database to scrub the internet. I'm.
no, it's no, it's also like every. Do you know how many people fucking sent me fucking Paris Hilton shit in, like the last 3 days? And it's like my director sent. I'm like, AP, come on, fucking. I just uploaded our thing. Our thing was just uploading. I'm trying to make
I
a
blocked
thumbnail,
her.
which I still haven't made. And my director sends me Paris Hilton doing something, and I'm like, AP, Jesus Christ, fuck. I'm like,
Yeah, no, I blocked her. I just see her ads. I'm like,
like,
really?
you're my director. Could you not freaking send me Paris Hilton shit?
I did let 1111 Media Impact know that in forwarding that picture with her in it, that they're supporting predators. They're platforming predators.
So I was trying to fucking figure out some shit with fucking AI about Paris, right? And it's about like, you know, the like it was about when when NatSap's affiliation with fucking Provo ended, and it was about 10 years ago. From
I didn't
from
know
what we
that.
can
Okay.
from what we can say from a NatSap conference that they were involved in 2016, but if you look at it in 2000 and I think 20 and even 18 they weren't affiliated. So it's about 10 years, 8 to 10 years that NatSap has not been affiliated with Provo Canyon anymore. But then also I had it look into the whole thing with I gave AI the whole thing with like that press kit that survivors were getting, that even like the speech of like, oh, like infinite icon, whatever.
Yeah, no, I didn't I
And I
saw
was
that.
like, okay, so this was paid for by 1111. Isn't that like fucked up? Because that's her foundation for philanthropy. Is she using that for promotion? And they're like, no, there's two 1111s. And I'm like, so who? They're like, no, no, there's an 1111 for her philanthropy for that's whatever that she does, and then there's the 1111, and that's where she has her millions of dollars.
I know there's
I'm like,
1111 Media and, like, an 1111 Media Impact. So I do know that
1111 impact, I guess, is
yeah,
1111, right?
that's what I'm
But the
aware
whole
of from
thing
the
is like,
research that
okay,
I found.
look into like what gets funded through where, right? And it couldn't find shit.
Oh,
It
wow.
like AI could not figure out like if she's getting money, like for doing whatever, where it's not fucking clear whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I will say though, to the defense of that, even though that is an interesting finding, she does have, multiple revenue streams, like,
No, no,
abundant,
no.
like
I know, but those companies are called 1111.
no, I do know that because
And
one
when
is
no,
on
no,
her
did you
website.
before?
I knew right before you told me because I reached out to them about platforming predators as well.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I didn't know that
But, like, I haven't been showing you everything because, like, I don't wanna wake
yeah,
you
I
up.
know, 'cause I don't thank you because I don't want to know, and yeah.
Edit that
Um,
out. But, yeah, I let them know, and I sent unsilenced a fucking email, and I was like, "If you go back and look at her DMs, honey, from Instagram, it's before I got fired from the lawsuit. I was telling you about bullying and about people being targeted and what people were going through." And what's their response? "We're not aware of anything, but we'll keep an eye out. Thanks for having me blocked on Facebook, Meg Applegate."
the Megan Applegate shit is pissing me off because it says it like she went to some residential behavior place, whatever. But then I'm hearing she just went to. It's like what's
I
pissing
don't
me off
know her
is that
story. I haven't heard
it
it
took me
from
going
her.
through fucking putting the profits through AI, something I should have never had to have done, just to figure out what CD was based on. Anybody that had access to him for the last fucking 10 years could have done what I had done. I mean, maybe AI got really good, but I don't think that,
Or maybe they just didn't think to seek that answer. Maybe that's your one, like, not one thing, but you know what I mean? That's your original unique idea that created this answer that nobody else was seeking because they weren't thinking in that mindset.
no,
Because that's
the
another thing.
only,
Survivors think the fuck outside the box.
when I figured out, when I figured, let me find that speech or whatever, that fucking, when I figured out that,
The two were separate entities, I'm guessing.
what is it? When I found out, that, what was it? Recent,
But
hold
I do
on.
keep an archive. I just don't show you everything. I don't want to upset you.
Egotistical essay. Hold on. This is okay.
What is this?
This is okay. There's a thing that happens sometimes when I'm talking with other survivors of the programs I went through. Someone will say something like, "I don't know how to explain it, but I can just tell when someone's lying to me." And everyone in the room nods because we all know exactly what they mean, and ever none of us has ever quite known how to say it to someone who wasn't there. And I want to try to say it now. The programs I'm talking about, mine was CEDU in the mid 90s, used a technique often called attack therapy. Groups of teenagers under intense psychological pressure confronting each other, breaking each other down in sessions that could run for hours. We did every
Disco
tough feat
groups.
the program offered. I kept the scripts. I know exactly how the machine worked because I was run through it repeatedly at an age when a person's sense of self is still being built. Here's what nobody tells you about surviving something like that. It doesn't just leave scars, it also leaves instruments. When your physical and emotional safety depends on correctly reading whether the person across from you is performing an emotion or actually feeling it, whether the story someone's telling is the real one or the one that's safer to tell, you
It's the
develop
worst stuff.
that skill fast.
That's the worst definition of pattern recognition, calling it an instrument. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, so it's like, okay, so
What are
you
you
develop that
reading?
skill fast or
What are
you
you reading?
suffer from not
Stop
having
it.
it.
What are you doing to me? What are you reading?
Isn't that weird though? Like what?
That sounds like Cartman gets an anal probe.
So hold on, this is not over. It's not intuition, it's trained pattern recognition built under duress,
Okay.
the same category of skill a hostage negotiator or a trauma clinician spends years developing in
That's
controlled
what.
clinical settings.
At
We
least I
got
got
it
the
in
right
the
words,
hard
but
way
no.
as teenagers with no choice in the matter.
Okay, I could see that. But
Are
like
you freaking out or is
instrument
it
makes me
questioning?
feel funny.
Yeah.
Like I can't bypass that hump. Like we can't get past that.
And it doesn't turn off that's the part I want to sit with. I've noticed I'm not the only one who's noticed this about themselves, that I can spot manufactured outrage online almost instantly.
Not
Astroturf's
always.
sincerity, an argument that's technically well formed but is being made in bad faith, a story that's a little too clean, an emotional reaction that doesn't quite match the stakes of what supposedly happened, a certainty that's performed rather than earned. My friends who went through similar programs described the same thing. We didn't compare notes and describe to believe this about ourselves. We each noticed it independently in our own lives, usually with some bewilderment because nobody explained.
I was just gonna say maybe it's because we all haven't explained it. The explanations are so wild. Like I was gonna say that and then we went there. So at least we went there. At least it's like like it's making sense. It's just making I don't it's making me feel the ick in the process.
I know, yeah, yeah, totally. That's why it's called egotistical essay.
Who
So
did this?
here's my theory. And it's the thing I think my documentary might actually be about more than anything else. Because basically, right before I had to write this, like it made this connection for
You
me.
did that?
And
You
I
wrote
was like,
instrument girl?
because I was like, if I could be remembered for one fucking thing in this whole documentary, it's this, like that, and that, and so
But
that's
see
why
then
it
I can
wrote it like.
but before you even got there I can understand too because just because one word turns me off doesn't mean that it doesn't make sense because it
What was the
followed the
word that turned you
cohesive
off the most?
instrument.
Oh,
Instrument.
oh, oh.
I would go skill.
What?
I would use the word skill there. That's but like that's instrument just it feels like something was like and I get where you're
Programmed
going.
into
Something was
us?
embedded within us. Like
Well,
but I'm
yeah.
thinking like a microchip, but it was more like a mental breakdown.
Well, yeah.
It was psychological torture of a child.
Right. All right, hold on, let me finish. Okay. Um, okay. What these programs did to us and what a manipulative algorithmic feed does to a population are not the same thing. I want to be clear about that because I think it matters enormously not to flatten the difference. What
That's
we went through was sustained, coercive, inescapable, and happened to captive minors. Nobody was captive on Facebook in 2012 the way I was captive in in a program in the 90s. Because I was comparing like Facebook to fucking Sea
okay,
basically.
can we rewind? You said something. Algorithm, what was it? The word before algorithm specifically.
What these programs did to us and what a manipulative algorithmic feed
Okay.
does to a population.
Do you know one of the things Katie Max people tried to use against like me and everyone else was calling it predatory algorithms? In those
Fuck is she
fake
making up fucking
podcasts, they
words for? Jesus Christ.
yeah, like she tried to say that I have predatory
She keeps making
algorithms.
up words like she would fucking Jesus Christ.
Okay, but I see what you're connecting there. Like people don't understand like they put themselves in a situation but like nobody was in the situation you survived.
Right, but like we have skills after that, but it's shit that we can tell people about because there's so many of us, and it's really easy to point this shit out, basically.
But they don't believe us. But like when I talk to you, I can read that and I can understand it. Your way of
Because we're
saying it's
talking to
different
other
than
people that
mine.
don't have this fucking power. I don't. That's the whole thing. Is I don't. That's the whole thing. Is Katie? I don't think is one of us. Because they would know that about this shit, and they would have fucking had people know. You know what I mean? Like,
But
do you
like there's
understand?
things that you could do that I can't do then, because if you wrote that, then I don't necessarily, I can't tell fake
Yeah, I
outrage.
wrote this. I mean, I helped, but like, um, hold on. Okay, wait. Let me finish. Wait, wait. Uh, nobody, because this is about like how this is about like how we can how people. This is basically about like how survivors of the
I
troubled
feel
teen
like this
industry
is our Achilles heel.
can see bullshit on Facebook faster than normal people can because we were trained through fucking we went through basically fucking troubled teen industry. That's like propaganda. So when we see propaganda on the internet, we're like, okay, it's right. For us, it's. Do you
I
understand
can
what
see
I'm saying?
through a lot of bullshit, but I can't see through survivor bullshit. Like I believe them.
Well, so that's true. Actually, that's a pretty good one too. Yeah, that's hard for us to tell with each other. You're right. Um,
But I agree
but
with everything else okay, keep
let me
going.
finish.
Sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
But the mechanism, the actual machinery of how the manipulation works is the same shape. You don't need to insert false information into somebody's mind to control what they believe and feel. You just need to control what they're exposed to, curate the input, restrict the countervailing signal. Isolate the person from the version of reality that would let them check your version against something else. Then let their own mind, doing exactly what minds are built to do, fill in the rest. That's how a program does it to a teenager
You
in a
just
room.
described Hyde's 2-4.
Really?
You just
There's
described
also
it.
there's also mechanically how there's also mechanically how a manipulated newsfeed does it to an adult scrolling before bed. Different intensity, different stakes, same underlying architecture.
And that's been proven
I was made
repetitively.
fluent in that architecture without my consent at 15. That fluency is, as far as I can tell, permanent. I don't say any of this to claim some kind of trauma superpower. I say it because I think it's actually useful information and because I'm tired of survivor stories being told only as a case studies in what was done to us, as though the only thing left when the smoke clears is damage. That's not the whole picture. Something else got built in there too, alongside the damage, whether the people running those programs meant to build it or not. I think that might be the only sentence my documentary needs to say, if I only get one. Not look what they did to us, something closer to look what we can see now that you can't, and ask yourself why. That might be worth listening to. That's the
Is
thread I'm
this why?
holding
Oh,
on, and I'll be writing more. I'll be writing more here as that research develops.
is this why I was told it was a pro TTI
Well, I mean,
documentary, or
because that's what it means,
documentary? I can't
egotistical
say
essay.
it.
It sounds like I
Documentary.
want to. Doesn't it sound? Does it? Wouldn't you join the Church of Ikari after that?
No, like I mean, I could no, I could see where you were going with it, because that's what they did, like the isolation, the 2-4, the restriction, the breakdown, the mental breakdown, the discovery groups, like that was Hyde in a nutshell. Graydon was different. Graydon was, we'll drug you and throw you in a like a padded room, like fuck you. Um I worked through Graydon. I was on contracts. I was the first person in 40 years mainstreamed back into public school without like special ED titles. So that was kind of like a big deal, but like my son ended up there after me. Like the one thing I didn't want to fucking happen happened. So that's why I can agree with most of what you've written. Do I necessarily understand it as you go? Parts of it I feel like I have to hold on to get there, but do I understand what you're saying? Yeah. Like it's not wrong.
And
And
it like
like
a lot of that, I think I feel like is universal for even John. Like John knows personalities because he had to, but I mean, not as much as they didn't do it
He's gonna, is he
transparency
flaking?
really.
I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad because I need that man to come forward and on his own terms, because he was ready and maybe he backed out. I understand that. But
No,
like,
I'm betting he's gonna come up any minute. Hold on, let
cause
me
like
try again.
he needs to have
He
his
needs to be
moment.
redeemed. Like he's like the
He needs
first, like one of
yes,
the first
he needs to
in.
have his moment after, because he came forward and because he's a cis straight male. No offense to anybody else, LGBTIAQ,
No,
you're my fam, but you get deplatformed if you come forward as a survivor that's a straight male. No matter what, you get de fucking platformed.
That's what Rocky. That's what happened to fucking Rocky. Rocky can't deal with these people anymore because he was in my documentary and everyone was like, "Oh, you fucked Kari," and when that was the fucking funniest
I was gonna
fucking
say,
couple days of
stop,
my
duty,
life.
because he looks cute in his profile picture. Go
Oh,
girl.
he's. Why do you think I wanted him in my fucking film? He's beautiful.
Like, you look good.
I needed somebody young and good looking in my shit. We're all old. I went to see
He
it 30
is.
years ago.
You done did that, girly boo.
Beautiful.
I was like, that's why I was like, who is
That's
this?
why I wanted Rocky. He's
I thought
gorgeous.
his profile picture was a commercial, and then you explained who it
He's
was, and I was
gorgeous.
like, oh,
And I
that's
had
who
done
that
my
guy is.
homework on him, honestly, because he had done like 10 more interviews about Ivy Ridge, and I've watched a few
Okay.
of them. So, like, I knew his story in and out. Like, when he went to
Okay.
go talk about his sexual assault, I was like, Rocky, you don't have to go there. It's okay. We don't need that on film.
Aw.
And he's like, okay. And then he did it again. I was like, we don't need it. And he's like, I'll do it. He's like, no. I was like, we don't need it. And then he's like,
Get
no, I
it.
want to. I was like, okay, you know. But it
Well,
was
that
like,
was
because I knew, you know.
well, after
Because
we
I didn't want
filmed
him to
last
think that,
week.
like, that's why we, you know, oh,
No,
because
no.
because the thing is when he was fucking, when she started talking about it, it was filmed correctly. It was lit correctly. It had a director. Like, you know what I mean? It looked.
You were all in.
net-
Like, that was you.
It's
Yeah, I know.
perfect. Like, after
I've seen
fucking
the clip.
Rocky
I've
left.
seen, like, not that clip, but I've seen a clip of you interviewing him, I believe, on
And the
Instagram.
thing is that we've shown just clips of it, but it's not colorized. And AP hates that I've shown it not colorized. But the thing is, it's like all we have is a director. That's my lifelong friend, and that's it. Like, you know, we have borrowed stuff because AP has never asked any of his colleagues to borrow shit before because he's never done his own passion project before. So,
Got it. I just know
but,
that
you know,
I think that documentary probably got silenced, and I didn't. I feel like this all comes full circle because it can only be you, to be honest. Right before the person and I that brought us together had our falling out, and I have to be careful about using her name because she
no,
is
we won't say your
repetitive.
name. I know that we won't say
Yeah,
your
she has
name.
repetitively tried to seek random protective orders against me, which is like another fucking TTI weapon, I guess, against other survivors. Unsuccessfully, thank God. So I just have to be careful. Um, she had contacted me and was like, someone's snooping, never gave me a name. Someone's snooping around. You don't want to be in a pro TTI documentary, would you? And this was like around the time I was supposed to do the Unsilenced carousel with her, and she asked me to partner with them. It's the same time she told me the IP theft bullshit. And this was way, way before like the pink slip and everything on me. And like that was our falling out. I called her crying from the bathtub. Or no, I left her a voice memo crying from the bathtub. Like I wasn't screaming, but I was like, nobody understands me. I know you don't understand it. And I even said in it, and I still have it. And I was like, I know you try to, but like right now it feels like you're really not, because I feel like you're gaslighting me is basically like what I explained. And next
And she
thing I know,
was.
it was, whoa, I don't want to be your friend anymore, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like the devil in the community. I was demonized. And when it happened, I reached out to Unsilenced in DMs and a really good mutual friend of ours, and another fellow Hyde survivor. And I even told her, I will never disclose your identity publicly, but I am going to go ahead and block you now because I just can't.
Yeah.
And I have no hard feelings towards you. And that's how we left it. And come to find out, which I don't know how I feel. I feel like I was kind of weaponized. She's the one who helped me when I originally wrote my testimony, when we submitted it to COPE to keep them Hyde on the watch list. She's the one who pulled. I mean,
high people are different. You're like a more evolved version. You're a different fucking evolved version of the Synanon. It's different. You guys are different. It's a different.
But
that's the thing. It's the vouching. You know what really pisses me off is that on Unsilenced, right? Unsilenced has a CDU story. Because I just searched CDU on fucking Instagram. So Unsilenced features a CDU fucking story from the years that I was there, and it's anonymous. Why? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole thing. It's
I
like,
don't think that's okay. I think it's okay to share your story. I don't think it's okay to vouch for something that someone, because anything could be there. Like anything could be there.
Yes,
well, someone could sue Jane or John Doe.
Fucking anonymous, but then we're goddamn adults. Like, seriously, it's like, this is Auschwitz. Do you ever be worrying about not fucking saying names? It's like, this
I
is
wouldn't.
ridiculous. Like, we were part of something really freaking weird as a cult. Like, it was nobody's goddamn fault. And when people were worried about, like,
God,
oh, don't say my name, fuck you then. Like, seriously, like,
I'm more worried you said Auschwitz.
but
More
it's, you know
worried.
what I mean? Like, were all the survivors of Auschwitz, like, worried about, like, when, like, later on when they're trying, were they worried about fucking not saying the names of other people? You know what I'm
I
saying?
think
It's
I
like,
think they were honestly more worried, and that's what I don't understand. They were worried about their survival. Like they made it. Like why aren't we celebrating that we all made it and like boosting each other up? Like why are we like exploiting and
no, and
tearing each other
that's
down?
the whole thing is that why the fuck are we still using the word goddamn survivor? This is
Yeah,
not a
I don't know what to
sickness.
call them.
It's
Why
not
are
a
people
sickness.
like us? Why are people like us doing shit like this? Like what do I say?
It's like,
You
no,
know,
it's
like
like we need to
my
stop branding
people.
us as a permanent sickness that makes us all bondage. It's really gross.
But that's the thing, there's so few that, like, I've, like, really, like, bonded with, if that makes sense, like, I've had a lot of people, like, even staff, like, I've had staff in my inbox, like, "I'm so sorry, we didn't know what we were doing, like, I
So
needed to,
that's
like, make
exactly. Do you
ends
know what I mean?
meet."
Those people should be fucking heard. Those are the most important people to hear. Those are the absolute most important. But you know what? Do you think that they could go to Unsilence and talk to Meg Applegate? No.
But I think
I
the
want to
community
hear
was
from you.
But I think the community was also trashing you, running around saying it was a pro TTI documentary and weaponizing it before you even got a chance to speak. You and I had never spoken. You found me because that same person then, like, and the word
Because I was
Darvo
like,
was
I'm like,
used.
do you know this person? Because I'm pretty sure this the person's fucking with you because it smells like it. And you were like, yeah. And I was like, well, let's be friends now.
That's
I was
that's
like,
how
did we
we
just
got
become
here.
best friends?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the activities.
because what it was is like when you got like all of a sudden Christian was like, you remember Trauma Barbie from the fucking she got she I think she got fucking she just put hashtag Darvo, and I'm like, what do you mean? Like she just was in the mental ward. I was like, we must take her right the fuck now. Find that woman. Like I don't care. Because I also wasn't dealing with the fucking. That was one of those times I wasn't dealing with the community.
No, I get
Like
it.
I was like, that was like, and then it was like that. I was like, we
And
need to
like
go for that woman.
I was really lucky because, like, through you guys finding me and hashtag Darvo, according to my husband, it's not real, but it is. Um, like,
No,
it really
because the
is
thing is that
deny,
Sean was
attack,
pretty much
reverse,
making the
victim
same kind
offender.
of fucking Sean fucking Morrison, from the program, makes the same kind of posts all the time, and it's like, dude, Katie Mack is making you make these posts. Fucking stop it. Like,
Darvo posts.
yes.
Oh, that's not a Katie Mack thing. I did that because I got Darvoed.
No, that's the whole thing. But like, it's like fucking Sean Morrison with like sign of life, and I'm like, is Katie Mack making you do this? You know what I mean? Like, who the fuck is making you run around saying "son of life"? You sound psychotic. Don't
Yeah,
run
you told
around
me that.
saying. And it's like, well, I need to show son his life. To who? It's
But
the
I think,
fucking internet. You're an adult. What the fuck are you showing signs of life to? Like, we all sound
so
like
I
so
think
culty.
the specific reason you're saying that, actually was thinking about this since you last said that, and I thought about the reasoning for that. And I look at who I had surrounded myself by at that point. So when I was posting things like that before I had fully come over to the dark side of you and your people
Fuck
and
you.
this group, this side of, survivor land or whatever you want to call it, this side of the dark force, um, I didn't like I was following a lot of people or mutual follows or Facebook friends with a lot of people that were in the group of the people that were part of the bitch Barbie cult without
Right.
being part of the bitch Barbie cult. So I was being repetitively exposed to certain things and I'm like, "Oh, well that's adorable." Like, "Hey, but it's because I was primarily interacting with that side of me before I came forward with people that were affiliated with the person who's now trying to like destroy me."
Right, and they kind of probably taught you kind of how to act around them.
Kind of, I was definitely pretty much groomed
Groomed.
in
I mean, that's
messages,
for
what to
lack of a
say,
fucking
how to
better word, groomed.
say. Like,
It's like when I
if I
figured
wanted
out
to
that, like,
submit my carousel to Unsilenced, it had to be proofed through the extent, like, Unsilenced reshared some of my stuff in their stories, but, like, I could only be part of it through these gatekeeping people. It was
And
weird.
it's like, it's all so that one woman can continue to hold on to all of the archives for everything involving every troubled teen industry facility when there's zero proof that she went to a single fucking one.
I'm not sure about that, but yeah, no, the
No,
whole
seriously.
archiving thing.
The only proof that Katie Mack has been up is one art thing she wrote down about her time at fucking, I don't know, but
So I
it's
had
just,
comments forwarded to me.
there's no proof that she went anywhere.
I had comments forwarded to me that people she had a nickname, I guess, when she was at Provo or something, and I was like, "That's disgusting. Like, there's no
No,
way.
she
She's
like,
fucking evil." But then I wonder, are these people plants? Is this real? Is this because now people are wondering, is there anyone to corroborate this experience? So, like, I don't know which side I stand on. I have never seen her bring forth a record. I'm in Hyde's yearbook and I posted my fucking whatchamacallit, Hyde transcript, and I have all my grade and records from the JLC file. I didn't mean to flick you off, from the JLC file they gave me after disengagement.
no, supposedly somebody that knew Katie at Provo went to fucking Survivor's Prom, but like then I don't think
Okay.
she showed up. Like I think it was just somebody that was like, it was like some, oh, like, oh, this woman's showing up, and then it was like, I don't think she ever really came, or I don't know, but it was
People
like
are
the one proof
vouching
that
for
Katie
her
was
being
there. I don't
there.
think anyone ever met her.
Like, there's oddly specific stories in these comments, but like I don't know how to feel about it because, like, I mean, I got trolled by 50 cats within 5 minutes of each other when I got my NAMI award. So they could be anybody, anything, a bot, a fake
So
profile. Like,
basically, what
there's
you're saying is,
nothing
as soon as
to
you got,
verify.
that's the thing I guess I didn't understand is, as soon as you got recognition for being a voice, you got attacked for it.
Done.
Okay. That's
Pink
something that
slipped and
wasn't clear.
over
That's probably something that wasn't clear to me, really.
because I was doing the inked competition while I was deplatformed as well, fighting for TTI and domestic violence and
And then
mental health.
as soon as you tried to include or like be a part of the community, it ruined your life, literally.
No, so the community, I had our falling out before I was pink slipped by a couple months. Like, I had sent her a cease and desist a couple months before that.
Yeah.
But that's when environmentally, like where I live, people started fucking with me more too. And when that started happening, I noticed my engagement had gone way above what I thought on my Facebook. I was already monetized, like stuff was happening. So I was being like understood in the TTI realm and also
But then
locally, I guess.
there's also that your fucking news thing. When were you on the
Well,
news?
that was way after. That was way after. That was
But I
July
mean
or October
before
of
like,
last year.
no,
Which
when
news
you were
thing?
on like, not the news that I heard when I knew you, when you were on the Hyde campus.
Oh, so that was 48 hours. That was a decade ago. I've been speaking out
Yes,
for over a
that's what I'm
decade.
saying. Is that
Yeah,
even
I've been
that
publicly speaking out for over a decade.
So even that makes you a target because you've always been willing to speak out. So therefore, when you came back, you were even more of a fucking target because you had
Yeah,
credentials.
I
You know
guess.
what I mean?
And that's
Same
why,
thing with
like,
me.
when I won my NAMI award, like, I got trolled by, like, Middle Eastern people and cats, by people making horrible comments trying to get it taken. Like, my property has been damaged recently. I had to file a police report. I had to file, like, I'm being stalked online. Like, I mean, it's nuts.
The most telling thing about this is the way that that like you'll see all these people have fucking Facebook, they all have YouTubes, right? Like the woman we will not name, she has an active freaking YouTube that she hasn't added to in years.
And, like,
It's
if
like
John ends up coming on, like, he's gone through the same thing. It's just this
It's like,
it's like
add
a playbook.
to YouTube, make more, talk more. Why are you waiting? Who's holding you back? Like, what do you have nothing to say? It's like I don't understand it. Like,
So I think I got deplatformed as I started getting a voice, and then when my whole, like, shtick kind of shifted to, like, we can't be harming survivors if we're survivors, like, this shit needs to stop, that's when they got really pissed off, and that's when shit, like, really started to hit the fan because it became more relatable content to everybody. Like, we if we wanna be better, we have to be an example type shit. Like, we can't be the problem and claim the victim. And then that's why, like, when everything else that's going on, that's, people are persecuting me for, that we just have to let unfold the way it needs to unfold. I was demonized. So the
and
pink slip
still, yeah,
didn't
we've
work.
all been
Then this
demonized. You've been demonized. I'm like, Like, I've
John
been
came forward.
demonized, like
He did. So you have been marked like Satan in the community, and you have been nothing but sweet. Like I mean, we all struggle in different ways, but like you have never been not supportive, not genuine, not there, not empathetic. Like I don't understand, like other than trying to platform your documentary, why people would attack you. I don't understand it.
well, there's what there I could there's the reasons are was starting with Ron Denver was with when I started this project, I fully sexually assaulted on by somebody I knew at CEDU, somebody that I trusted, you know. Like I bent over, literally did the Trump grab. I did not know that that could be done like that. I mean, but you can do the Trump grab. It was, you
I
know, and
didn't know this.
I
See, you
was
haven't
like
told
turned
me
around. I
this.
was like, "Are you fucking kid? Like, how did you think that was gonna?" It was almost like, "How did you think that was gonna work out for you?" Like, but it was that I knew I had to spend 4 or 5 more days with the motherfucker in Las Vegas until I could get the CEDU box. So it
But
was
see, that's
like,
also like another thing that's horrifying in itself. I'm so sorry
yeah,
to hear
because the
that.
whole thing is that like I got like there are people change their mind about this stuff over time. Like they'll realize that they hated it or like you know then they're like okay maybe parts that were bad it was whatever. And there's this woman named Angela Phelan or whatever, and
I've seen that name. Okay.
she's an awful. She's like
I saw it in your post
another
on your stories.
yeah because
Yep.
I don't even remember fucking Liam talking about her like she sucked because she's like thinks Cedar was wonderful basically or that like
Okay.
and that nobody can talk bad about her.
There's
I don't even know anymore. But
there's
like
pro hide people. I've written many counter to open letters. I understand. I
yeah, she's
understand.
pro Hyde. She just thinks that nobody should talk about it afterwards because it's in the past. It's like fuck you. You don't get that's the
No.
whole thing. Is that what people
How do
don't
you
understand?
process
You don't
something?
understand Cedu. You don't understand how Cedu is still running the fucking troubled teen industry. You
And then
know
on top
that's the
of
whole
that, you
thing.
could walk into a Walmart and be fucking triggered through no fault of your own because of what you went through as a child that nobody could help you fucking recover from. Like,
Yeah, like you know, and it's like we're unsilenced. Where are you? Where's the therapy for all the fucking songs that none of all the C people can't hear? You know what I mean? If you got any help? No, because you don't. This doesn't fucking affect you.
and that's the thing. Like, I've seen certain people, and I don't mean to digress. We need
No,
to get right
no, no.
back
We're
because you were
still.
talking
This
about your
is all. We're
sexual.
you know. Go
But
ahead.
I am happy people are opening a conversation in comments and on posts where people are celebrating about Provo getting shut down because their school got shut down and someone's in their comments like, "I'm so happy for you, but how can you and I help these displaced kids? What can we actually do?" Because that's the
Because it's
other
all
thing, like
just
what
like, oh,
happens
it's
after?
Paris, 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 and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, can you shut the fuck up about the most? Does she need more publicity? She's not the only person that went to one of these facilities. She went
According to
to
her
it 3
website,
fucking years ago.
89% of people 15 to 55 know who she is on her 1111 media. And I'm like, are you fucking, this is disgusting. I was mad. I was mad. I was
It's just
angry.
like, you know, we're gonna be, because we're still her way of making fucking money. She looks like a kind, good, gentle human fucking, you
So when
know,
people are in the comments vouching for her, like she knelt down to me because she had huge heels on and she was very kind and she talks like wait, the one I loved, she talks like a normal person in real life.
and yeah, this is all, like, and it's like, Jesus fucking Christ. Gloria Allred. I got to Gloria
Sorry.
Allred. And she's
I
like,
feel like I'm
oh,
trolling
this
Paris
is
Hilton and I'm not
Brandon.
trying
Yes,
to.
Paris Hilton. It's like, oh, the funniest shit was when people are like, oh, and so she gave her Paris Hilton's phone number, right? And I'm like, no, she didn't. Like, oh,
Did she?
it's, it's,
Well, what about when you were trying to get that freaking law change and you were fucking redirected to fucking Paris Hilton? Like,
but
what
the
the
thing
fuck?
is,
Like, I am a human being trying to take change and I have to go through that gatekeeping human being?
what I didn't realize though was that when I was trying to figure out stuff with AI with Paris, is that her sticker bill was a children's bill of rights. So when Gloria was saying that, it was because she probably maybe even read about that. So the thing is that she wasn't wrong.
Okay.
is because the Sika bill wasn't supposed to be helping NatSap with statistics for the next 3 or 4 whatever years. It was supposed to be a children's bill of rights. But in the
So how the
last
fuck did
minute,
NatSap get
supposedly,
in? Okay, so how did NatSap get involved?
well, when I looked at it, it looked like it was always involved. They made it. They told us it was only in NatSap in the last minute. Everything that I looked at personally, that's not fucking true. They were always involved. This was always going to be with NatSap's approval.
But you also said not to defend Paris because we're not going to completely bash her. You did say you just think
We
she
will
wasn't
always be bashing
aware.
her.
You were like,
There's no.
I honestly think this is the one time she might not have actually been fully aware
The
of what
thing,
she was
no, no, no.
doing.
This is what I think is so.
Okay. Sorry.
Because Paris doesn't necessarily know that NatSap is ex-Sea people,
That's what it
that
was.
when
Sea-Doo people run it.
she aligned herself with NatSap, I don't necessarily think she fucking knew what she was doing.
Do you think she knows now?
No, because she's fucking. Because who's gonna tell her? Because if most people can't, if do you understand what I said? Not really. So how's
No,
she?
because I can follow your I remember, like, the AIM house and, like, who created Sea-Doo and how the profits got there. So,
It's
that's
because
like
okay. So
someone
let me
was
try to
saying, like,
explain it.
one of the
In the
board
80s,
directors for it is, like, her ex-best friend or something, but it was someone that went to Sea-Doo or someone close to her. There's some weird connection there on, like, a board of something that regulates
that's
this
the other
shit.
weird thing. It's that she went to
Like,
fucking
what?
school with somebody else that's like a big fucking last name, and that like he owns a whole bunch of schools, and I don't even fucking want to go there, man. Like,
Yeah, I've heard that one too.
because it's like how I am CIA girl. You know what I mean? I don't want to be all about every fucking conspiracy that's involved in this. But the thing is that like
Damn
when I'm
CIA.
explaining like this to like my mentor's boss,
Okay.
and it's
For your
posting on
beats.
Reddit and
Got
it
it.
was going viral, and I was looking, I'm like, I took screenshots of the three highest Reddit fucking posts I have. And I sent to the
Oh,
boss,
no.
and I was like, I figured out the best way to explain this, and it was like,
Well, you need to make everyone understand this whole community now knows about our whole community because they're like, what the fuck?
well, no, because all my techno friends know about my documentary, which is crazy. Yeah. I'm like, you're my third highest Reddit post, but you're never gonna beat my post that exposes that the troubled teen industry is an American government conspiracy.
Stop it. Because like I've always like the fucking like the prison like the what is it the prison pipeline they talk about. I feel like there's an institutional child abuse pipeline, and I think Medicaid's involved. I think NatSup's involved. I think I'm coming to this conclusion because of you. Like I how yes, because if you
Because
sign your
there's
rights
a
over,
reason
you have to
why it
become a
hasn't
ward
gone
of the
away.
state.
It's because this is a part of the fucking American economy, and it's a conspiracy that needs to be there in the fucking first place.
But listen, if your parents sent you to CDU, they spent 100 grand. My parents sent me to hide. They would have had to because it was across state lines. I still haven't gone through the file. They would have had to sign over temporary custody at least for them to make immediate decisions while out of state, right?
It
Because that
wouldn't
was
even be temporary. It would
but
be
you know what I'm saying? Like
custody.
CDU. Okay, so our parents paid out of pocket. But then because I was adopted when I went to Graydon, I would have been eligible for Medicaid. Graydon accepts Medicaid. They're in NATSAP. That's
Yep.
typically a Medicaid NATSAP in bed. Then you have fucking children that are, in the foster care system, adoptees. You have the adoptee that everyone is fucking adopted, even if they have a family. Like, is Medicaid profiting off of channeling children into the pipeline that is the child abuse
Correct.
industrial pipeline?
Correct. And that if they go to certain states, more shit is paid for, or it's like even faster paid for. That
Yes.
like if you go to Washington or Utah, that
Fucking
like
Utah.
more stuff
I
is
knew
paid
it because
for. Now
that's
the whole
that's
thing is
where a
that
lot of people are.
they don't want it, like especially they don't want you to go to the same. They don't want you to be in the same state that you fucking live in.
I'm pretty
None
sure
of
I
us
know.
went live. It's just like the most common thing that none of us were in the same state that we lived in when we got sent away. And that's because they do that on purpose for it's like for
But
insurance reasons.
that's why hide's weird. So okay, here's my point on why I came to this conclusion too. Hyde recruited in wealthy areas, which is why if you go back and you look at their events on Facebook, you'll see they had specific introduction nights in Fairfax County, Virginia as well. That was, I think, before I attended, but they were targeting wealthy families with this we can change your child plan and charging them, which is why Hyde escaped regulation because they didn't need to be in the Board of Education or the fucking Medicaid approved, which is why Provo and the fucking Department of fucking Health and Human Services stepping in means they have Medicaid in there.
Right. No, so it was CEDU. Our shit was paid for too, but it was after. Like we like basically see you had enough money to cut to like upfront it, but then they would figure out because like with me it says that I took 10 Tylenol in a suicide attempt, so that means that I need 2.5 years of emotional growth. It says it, and that like it should that you know, and so it says check back in a year when you graduate, and that's
Who
what
the
you know
fuck
like
is
yeah.
it? Who the fuck is it? Who the
No, no, it's just absolutely instinct. That's what it says, and it's the thing is, I even remember I
That's
didn't
the
take 10
how
Tylenol in a
14
suicide
Tylenols
attempt. My
ended me
dad
in the
tricked
troubled
me
teen
even into
industry.
saying that. Like there was I
Sorry.
even remember my dad saying, "What's the most Tylenol you've ever taken?" I was like, "I don't know, 10." And he's like, "That's a suicide attempt." And that's when that you know, and it's like
But
he
that's why you have
made
that
something
article
that
you
was
wrote.
a billable thing to insurance company for them to pay for CEDU.
But that's why people need to read that article you wrote. How 10
Yes,
Tylenol
and what
ended
was crazy is
me
my
to a trip to the troubled
psychiatrist
teen
read it.
industry.
My psychiatrist read it, and I guess he read it a couple of times because he was like, "Kari, I just have to commend you that like that's probably one of the most thought out, well written articles. Like I understood." And he's like, "Not even that. Other people could understand that if they read
Yep,
that. I
I
think
that
much
was a
many
good one.
more people should read that because you showed your full medical records." And like you know, I was like, "Yeah." It's like,
That was a good one. But like that was a good one. That was the thing though. I came forward with excerpts. I didn't come forward with the documents, right? So when everyone's
well,
like,
I
"Oh,
just so
she's
happen to
lying."
have
I
them.
came
That's the whole
forward with the
thing.
legal documents and I was like, "Fuck it. They're not doing shit about me getting bullied anyway." So I posted my demand letter and I said, "Here was my demand letter." And then they're like, "We are disengaging from you, Justice Law," because they're like, "You posted proprietary material."
It's like you have my life in your fucking hands. Like
And
seriously,
you're
like
fucking
this
with
is
me.
just
And my
private
husband's already been
material.
arrested from someone you're representing allowing to bully me. But yeah, no, people need to read that 10 Tylenols and the trip to the troubled teen industry. But I think it is all related. I think it is a pipeline. I think there is a institutional child abuse pipeline. And I think that we need to stop saying troubled teen industry and we need to say exploited teen industry or
It's not
exploited
even
child
exploited. It's
industry
that
because this is
it's the whole thing. It's
disgusting.
the survivor community cult has made it so since we're all survivors, it's all troubled teens. It's like no, there's fucking it all started as emotional growth. I went to an emotional growth school. That term was made by Linda Houghton, who started Mount Bachelor.
I feel like
By the
Hyde
time
probably
they like
would be
Feeding
categorized
closed,
that
they
way.
didn't. Nobody they knew that those words were problematic, and there because there were so many fucking lawsuits attached to CEDU because of the
Okay.
emotional growth. So because Linda Houghton had changed the Profits names to Life Steps by the time that CEDU was closed, and her shit never got sold with CEDU. But
Well,
emotional growth
brothers,
turned into uh, therapeutic boarding schools, and then or residential treatment centers. I don't know which one was between. Yeah, but
Graydon was
those words
residential, but
just kept
Hyde
changing.
also, you shared Brother's Keeper. Sea-Doo had a Brother's Keeper, correct? Hyde has renamed that to Each Other's Keeper, and they're not trying to say that it was because of what it made you do. They're trying to say because of gentrification. That's what they're
That's
using as the scapegoat for the change.
well, that even actually makes sense because it was
They're going to get
yeah,
away
it's
with
not
it.
about
They're
it
going to
is
get away
about
with it.
but no, it is no, but that actually even makes sense more for because it shouldn't be called the brothers. It should be called the brothers and sisters if you really want to, like get down to it. But the sisters is a prophet that they have at the a Cascade where basically they would make you'd have to start in a bathing suit and they'd run around the room and circle all your imperfections. It
Shut the
was
fuck
great.
up.
Like
I'd never recover from this.
I interviewed somebody the first day of my filming, on, like from
Someone
with my
I've had that
director,
done
and
to me
she told us
online where
all about
people
it.
have zoomed in and like circled and like posted them on that website that bullies me from like a decade
Jesus
ago.
Christ.
Yeah, like I know what that's like. Like I that I- and to do that as a child.
Well, it's like, well, then we know that one of the girls from fucking Cascade is one of your bullies, basically, because that means that she went through the sisters.
I don't know.
Probably.
It has been speculated that I have been possibly being tracked since I first came forward with Hyde.
That's, yeah.
I
It's,
don't
that's
know.
what I'm
I think
saying.
that's
It's like,
crazy.
especially
I
because
think
you're
I'm
just
just
so
trying to
active.
live
And the
my
whole thing is
life.
that, the whole thing is that, like, why the fuck won't Unsilenced fucking have anybody talking about Hyde? That, like, it's the, and it's also because it's still, like, Rachel went
So
to the
Breaking
Connecticut.
Code Silence did feature Hyde. But the weird part is that you noticed and I didn't, is they were only letting platform people speak from the closed campus.
That's the whole thing. Yes. They're not letting anybody speak from
Which
the
is
campus
weird because like my baby daddy went to that campus. Like
because
my
it's
eldest
more,
son
it's
baby daddy,
dangerous because it'd be dangerous for them. Do you know what I mean? To
which I
have
will
an
never say his
actual
name.
real huge like fucking real Scientology high fucking looking at in silence. Like seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that
But
you're
like
like I think that
they
your
could
shit is
they
more of like
I think
Illuminati high school and
some of them were in my baby daddy's year. Looking at the years, I think they went to school with him because he went to Connecticut. Whole
no, everybody
survivor,
being
but
like, oh,
everyone fucks
everybody
up.
attacking somebody until they look crazy and let's point and laugh at them. Fuck you. Fuck
Making
you. You look like
websites.
fucking psychopaths and it stops now. It's fucking over. I'm so sick of even like
How many
Chelsea
websites have been
fucking
made to defame people?
it's just ridiculous. Y'all look like fucking psychopaths. This little Paris Hilton fucking cult is disgusting. I'm embarrassed even being associated with people. It's fucking over. So sick of it. Like this is so embarrassing. Are you not embarrassed? Jesus fucking Christ.
I'm actually embarrassed for them. I'm embarrassed that I'm having to use ChatGPT to write some AI slop to a chief of police I've never spoken to about a woman I've never spoken to. Like, this shit is nuts. And I'm
It's
doing
like
it.
when I'm saying like
Like,
my
everyone says the
fucking
one on
like
house arrest. Okay, so I'm doing it on house arrest and I have a perfect record. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, I haven't been a problem. Well, everybody has been trying to get me to crash the fuck out and I'm not gonna do it.
don't no, we will be okay. Like the funny thing is my rock star's friend's wife, fucking whatever Paris did at the fucking World Cup, where they didn't show her kids or something. I don't know, some weird thing where like they showed Paris and then like the cameras wouldn't show her children, and then my friend's wife
Yeah, I
went
keep
to
telling
go.
I hate my ex-husbands put my children online because my kid got called my biracial kid got called a mud shark as an infant
Oh,
online.
but it just seemed like it was more disgenuine. But my friend,
Oh,
but she
yep.
just sent me like, because everyone then afterwards she just went to go see like what people thought about it, and everyone was like, yeah, she's fake or whatever. And I was like, and she sent me a screenshot of that. And she's like, see, other people hate Paris Hilton too. And I was like, woman, I was like, I started to cry, and then then came home. I'm like,
Stop. Do we
I
get a
said
victory
like
lap? Do
whatever,
you get a
and
victory?
then I'm like, my rock star's my friend's wife. And he's like, oh, hold on, that's is that a fucking rock star? And I was like,
But that's okay. We have a team. Like other people share our sentiment and they're not even us, which also shows
that's
a
the thing
pattern.
is that it's like everyone.
Hashtag pattern recognition.
It's like it's like I'm not fucking Paris Hilton. You know what I mean? But like when fucking told me what was going on. When told me even that like that video that Paris used that might have even been a recycled video. And then when I found out that like what she was doing was she was promoting Coachella, her just so she could play Coachella.
Doesn't
And
she
then also
started it
like
like high survivors?
also, that's when I've been just no, like I'm a fucking luthier. I build and fix guitars. Like I haven't been in my shop in months because like
You're also
I'm
right.
so
I write, like I genuinely write. I've been writing forever. Like people like I keep writing and people keep popping up from the chapters as I'm writing them. My stepson, we were never officially married, but I call him my stepson, popped up from the farm and he sent me a snap and he goes, "I'm just trying to be fucking better than my father, Megan. I'm so sorry." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up. Like, I love you. Like, you're amazing." Just, I know he's going through a lot, and I have like a whole file if anything ever happens to this man.
I know.
So, like, I feel like all our files together will become probably like a whole picture or they'll all match, because like he's not the person that like people are claiming. And
This Holier Than Thou podcast or something where they were like not saying who the bad person was the entire time. And when I found out who it was they were the whole person they were not talking about. It was
it's John
John.
Moody.
And I'm
And do
like,
you know
that
she
is
interviewed
so
him
much more
prior?
harmful than you not saying his fucking name.
Stop. She interviewed him prior, because I went down his TikTok hole, right, when we became friends. So I start watching all the videos because I'm like, let me get to know who this man is from what I know about him, what I've talked to him, our 2 almost 3-hour phone conversation and shit. Like, I tried to put the man with like the Teen Torture Inc. and like everything that he presented and everything everyone said, and it just doesn't line up.
Right.
I'm
It's
sorry.
that's the whole thing. It's like it's just
And I will say that from his empathy that I have seen, and nothing inappropriate, I can understand what he's been through as a child, to the point that I can see certain like visual images or statements he makes, and I understand why he's making them. And it's just because of who he is.
No, the whole thing is everybody fucking ridiculing everybody for the way that they're fucking talking about this is fucking ridiculous. It's goddamn so culty. It's embarrassing to fucking be associated with any of you fucking
Well, they're
people.
doing it to that new guy too,
What
like
new
the guy
guy?
that just released the book. Like I found that Bear, stop, baby. The guy on Reddit where there was a picture from Lucifer because he put it out there, and I was like, why the fuck is this popping up out of nowhere? Because we had been trying to figure out who they're deplatforming. That's a cis male that just came out with a book.
Lucifer hasn't fucking podcasted in a while because they deplatformed
Well,
him.
I don't know. I just know that there was
No,
a
that
comment
makes
that I
sense.
sent
They have
Chris outside of
deplatformed
you.
him.
Because I sent it to Chris, I didn't involve you because I didn't know that you were even on Straight Outta BS. No
No,
offense.
because I was looking at his.
And they're like,
fucking-
anyone that hears anything about this Corey guy needs to like loosely believe it, and then unholy your podcast comment. And I went on and I commented on her Facebook, like I trolled her.
No, like
And then I screenshotted her dirty delete and I reposted it, and then she blocked me.
I looked at fucking Jordan's like Straight Out BS podcast
Fair.
to see how many more followers they have. They have about 1,200 now. But then I was like, when was the last time you did a real podcast? And it was like months ago.
Bear, stop. It's
He
someone
used to
walking down the
put
street,
out-
babe.
He used to put out an episode every single fucking week like clockwork for years.
And that's not hard because you just press record, and like any fuck up was like you ate it.
Because he didn't edit shit. He just pressed
Yeah, which is
record.
hard when you're talking. Like you have to be extra trauma informed. Like if someone's on camera, you have to respect them saying like, no, I'm not comfortable. That's why the one person I'm trying to get you to come forward when we're talking, and you said you want to talk to them, like very trauma. I'm like, she's very trauma informed. Like give her the credit. Like she handles it amazingly. She's delicate. She's graceful. She will not make you look bad. She won't sit there and portray you as like something you're not. Like and if she can't explain who you are, she'll let people know like, I'm sorry you didn't get like enough time for that. Like we need to give you more time for that, because and you could get overwhelmed and tap out, and she respects that.
I don't think I'm trauma informed. I don't think that because it's like anybody that
I feel
says
like
that
you
they know
are.
how to deal with the shit is a fucking liar. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Then can I say trauma sensitive? You're trauma
No, like,
sensitive
even it's
because
like-
you understand. I don't know what the right.
I know a couple of survivors, right, who went into becoming therapists, but even especially they deal with survivors fucking like they're troubled teen industry fucking therapists. And it's like
Hashtag
you
I said
fucking
my
kidding
piece and
me?
walked away.
like I can think of two right now just off the head.
I'm thinking of Aluma Hottie, and I was just like, no.
No, yeah, oh yeah, her. She's one of
Yeah.
them. The girl
Yep,
that wore
I
that
figured.
hoodie, yeah, her. But
Yeah,
even
she's
fucking
up her
Liz
ass.
Ionelli.
What?
That's what Liz Ionelli's job is.
Oh no, stop, because like we follow each other on Instagram, and I'm really proud of her.
The thing is like fucking Liz, right? Like, I went to her documentary. I was ready to be like her friend, but then it was also like, but then when I saw that, and I met Liz, I took fucking pictures with her and her director. I was super proud. I had her sign my book, but then when she went to premiere the film in LA, she was like posting that Unsilenced was going to be there. I said something to Michaela Schur before even Liz Ionelli. I was like, Michaela, why the fuck are you allowing your film to be involved in Unsilenced? Because that's Katie Mack. I know that you know who Katie Mack is, right? And she was like, I'm not involved in the Survivor invite. I'm like, does fucking Liz know that you're allowing Unsilenced and Katie Mack?
Those are those emails.
In LA? Because this doesn't make sense to me.
You sent those
And then
texts,
I
now I
seriously,
get
and then
it.
I waited for fucking Liz to fucking read. I'm like, Liz, what the fuck is going on?
I read those.
And Liz was like, Kari, I've spent 10 years making this documentary. I need you to leave it alone. And I was like, block. I
I
don't know
saw
what
that.
you people are doing. Seriously, that's the most unpunk thing I've ever heard in my fucking life.
Like I am kind of like, I'm not an OG, but like I've been around. Like people can't take my story from me,
Right.
you know? And that's what I think that your side of the dark side gives people. It gives them empowerment
Right, and
to
because that's the
tell
whole thing is
what
there is a
they
certain
want.
amount of hero worship that everybody has, and if they're seeing somebody that's done this before, I've done this to people. Like, oh my god, thank you so much. You're like, when I met the fucking girl that was in the program, who the girl that went from Casa by the Sea, she's featured mostly, I think, in the first or second episode of the program where.
So can I not lie about this? I had to watch the program in the background while doing other things, as well as Teen Torture Inc., because like my brain could not fully process what I was watching.
That's the whole thing. If it's triggering for fucking us to watch, what do you think? Normal people can watch that shit? None of people haven't really been able to sit through watching the program. You
It
have to
was
be a sick
hard.
fuck to watch
Well,
the
that's why I
program
want
to
to have,
fucking go through that shit.
that's why I think doing an Ivy Ridge episode needs to happen. Like
Well,
it just
yeah,
needs to happen.
yeah, no, I would like to fully like Sin needs to be able to tell like
And
what
we need to
happened
let
to
people
her.
know if they want to tell their stories, like we're not gonna like, we won't crucify you in the court of public opinion. Like you can come
No, but it's
forward to
also like
Kari.
so, no, yeah, so when I followed when Paris Hilton Sicka Bill fucking happened, and like I had to drive nonstop to DC, and I like get to DC, we park in a totally illegal fucking place, and I'm like walking in, I have to pee because I haven't peed in hours, and in front of me in line is a girl that was in the program, and I couldn't remember her name, so I just went, uh I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy, like in Wayne's World, because I couldn't.
I get
And she
it.
was like, "About what?" I was like, "Thank you for saving the fucking world. Like you're my hero. Because it's like
I understand
the
that.
people that were in the program, to me, they're heroics. They fucking just they showed CDU's campus for a fucking second on Netflix. That's huge to me. Like nobody believed me. The school was fucking real a few months ago, and it's in a mental ward.
So before I understood the Breaking Code unsilenced Paris Hilton situation, I
Nobody
would
does.
say
Nobody understands this shit.
well,
I don't.
what I've come as my understanding, and I'm not Team Paris, would have been like Paris walked so we could run, but now I look at it more like maybe it was like Kat Von D, maybe it was the dark side the whole time. Like I'm
No,
not
Cameron didn't
necessarily
do
saying,
shit.
but
No,
like
you know
these
what it was?
people survived and came forward for us to be able to talk, but like the people that actually did it have all been deplatformed, like
The
because
people
of this
that
cult
talked
of
about CEDU
people.
before Paris were Liam Sheff and Adam Egan.
Which goes
There
back to
were
the
people
Michaela
that there was
Schuer
a
and the emails and that Angela Phelan. You didn't even talk about the Liam email. We didn't even get that part in. I read that and I was like, I'm so proud of my girl.
no, because I was just like, fuck, because this girl was
But
like,
you don't
I can
lie.
fix what's wrong with your documentary online. Oh, really? And I mean, she just like, no, but yeah, because she was saying that like, what scared me even more, she's like, why would you try to follow me on fucking Instagram the week after Ron Denver came to visit me? I was like, you were
I don't know what that
alone with a
means.
habitual sexual predator, Angela. Good, you like that? Is that fun for you? Because
I don't,
Jesus
what? I
Christ.
don't know. Who is that guy?
Ron Denver's the guy that literally did the Trump grab on me when I was with him for less than 24 hours.
We did discuss this. I know.
So the whole thing was like Angela Phelan was like defending Ron Denver, saying that Ron Denver should sue me for saying that he's done horrible, and that since she's survived sexual assault, and she knows better than any, that like can't talk about it because it's obvious. And I'm like, fuck you, like.
See, that's what, okay. So, like the second sexual assault where I found out the guy that sexually assaulted me in Hyde got jail time. I literally, it was against someone that I was a childhood friend with. And I may or may not have had an inkling that he may have been a little rough with girls, but I didn't know it was like bad. And I didn't think he'd ever hurt me. And then, like, I have a permanent scar from being bashed into a faucet in a bathroom and having two people sexually assault me. So, I was trying to get charges pressed on him, but because of his mom and who she was in Fairfax County on like the Board of Education, they wouldn't do shit. And this guy would like follow me around and like troll me and shit. But like I had no idea in like the survivor world, like that sexual assault is also like and male woman, like I had no idea how many of us have been like I think it's going to be like an adoption question. You're going to have a 98% rate of people that were sexually assaulted, and some of those people might not get to that percentage because some people aren't ready to tell their story, and then when people do, they get deplatformed and then they're told that you're horrible. And I think that you're an
A
amazing
huge
person.
amount are men. A
I
huge
know that's
amount of the sexual and fucking assaults that happen in the Trump teenager are men. And then the women say that the men are not allowed to relate to the women on their sexual trauma. And it is the most disgusting thing I've ever seen because I saw it happen live with my friend Rocky.
I didn't
And
know that.
it was filthy. It was awful. And I
I'm
saw
watching
it
something
happen.
similar happen to someone that I've been speaking with that just published their book, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
It was like I
That goes back
watched
to
it
like
happen. I was
Lucifer
like,
posting about them. That's what I told you. Like, I don't know why. I hadn't even been on Reddit in forever, and my phone just opens. And this happens more than I. Oh, John just said, hey, I had some equipment problems. Been a nightmare. Okay, I'm back. I don't know. I just asked him. He said he's having equipment issues. I said, are you going to be able to get on, homie? So the possibility is there. Did I fuck up?
no. What do you mean?
Oh, because it says uploading your track. But no, like, I guess Corey, I have heard, and I
Oh,
don't
give
know
me
if
5 minutes. Sweet. Okay. Okay,
did he
he's
get
coming.
it?
God's coming!
Fuck! My husband.
Yeah!
Do you know what my
So it's
husband
good
said?
because we got all our talking out. This is
But
good.
do you know what my husband said? I don't give a fuck about John Moody.
No, we do. John's our fucking friend, and we're gonna let him talk.
I'm trying to tell him that. I'm like, well, I made Wade go away for that most of that conversation. I was like, I don't want you to hear another man telling me what they've been through.
But
I
yeah,
make him
so
go
we
away
just
when I
can't.
talk to
I know
male
that we want to
survivors.
say
And
that, like, we understand. We just can't. Just don't be vocal about it. So yeah,
yeah,
it's
no, I
hard,
know.
but
I
we're
know.
doing. Yeah.
I just can't believe this is happening. I didn't. Next time, bitch, give me more notice. The bitch with
I know,
love. It's
I know, and that's the whole
disgusting.
thing is like she's running around like the whole thing is like when I told my friend I was like oh did I because I'm explaining she's like because he's like so weird there's a Paris Hilton call and I'm like wait I'm like did I show you their merchandise store and he's like what and I'm like their whole rip-off t-shirts they look like I'm like these people never went to high school they weren't in bands in high school so like I thought it was funny like let them have it they're gonna have fun making t-shirts because they were never cool in high school I've had merch shirts for bands that I've been in you know what I mean like they had to make them it's that they're gonna pick it apart and they don't like the way that you're saying it and they don't want you to say it they don't think that you should be able to say it and it's like
But
fuck
that's the
you
thing. Just
I'm
like
an adult fuck you like
your egotism paper, like I read it, it wasn't necessarily the way I respond to things, but as I read it and I followed you, I understood it because that's the point of being a survivor. You can laugh about something, but at the end of the day, you sit there, you get through it because maybe it's triggering, maybe it's not, but it's still like I still don't agree with instrument, but I love the piece and I agree with it and I understand it because
right, because it's
everyone
like,
deserves a
I'm at
voice.
least trying. These other people, like, there's no, they're not developed, they actually tried to stop the only therapy. Like, Athena Colby was making a therapy for us, and it got fucking halted by Katie Mack.
I've
Like,
heard about this.
like, no, like, they're actively making sure we don't get better from this.
Like
Like,
an actual case study was
yeah,
supposed to
they
happen.
did. I mean, they did everything they could to make it so that her college, like when her tenure came up, they couldn't rehire her because it was just
I
too
heard that
much of a
she made her
tackle.
lose a job. Like that's when Christians like Megan, you're freaking out right now. People have lost jobs. People have lost their lives. You're doing okay. You're
Yes,
doing okay. You're gonna be okay.
that's the whole thing. It's like it's like you have to realize we can't act like them. We cannot react to what they
But then
do.
I've talked to other survivors that I look up to, and I've been really disappointed. Like some of them, just I'm not even gonna lie. And
That's
I
the
know we
thing
don't
is
use the
that
word
I don't think
survivors, but they're like,
anybody, none
but
of
they'll
them
be
are
like,
all like Jenna
stop
is
making a
still waiting
scene.
for Paris's approval. Really, obviously, it's not even like she's not even secret
But they're
about it
like,
with him.
do your stuff quietly in the background. And then like 2 days later, I'm on a podcast like, hi. Like I did not follow that direction. Like I love you to death, but like I'm
Did
still
you
gonna
did you
do
see what
me.
Chelsea fucking did you see what Chelsea Filer wrote in our comments?
I did see that. I didn't know how to respond because, like, I agree with what she's saying. We all can't say that we know what someone
But
went through,
she
but
was
she's
there.
saying that happened
That's
in a
the whole
public
thing. She
space,
was
and
there.
she's also saying that the person that was directly there at the time recollection was wrong. I feel like
Because
that
the
would
whole
be
thing is that
something so
Randolph
traumatic
was
you
the first
can't
person to
forget.
tell me. The staff that supposedly was there, Randolph, the male staff, because he read it and he was like, because he said something about like, I'll fucking tell Miss Pretty about what really happens when you moved in. Because like he'd read it and he was fucking appalled because she lied about him. You know what I mean? Randolph never fucking hurt a single person, especially not a fucking female. That would
See,
never happen. There he is! Yay! Okay.
Hey,
I
sorry,
don't.
I've had hella issues.
I got 30 minutes notice for this shit.
Hey, she's frozen with her mouth open.
I'm sorry, no. I'm trying to see how to situate everything so that everything can be seen. Okay, good. Sorry. We're
I was
good.
gonna go to my office,
Oh,
but I just the only place I can do it right now. So
I love this.
So we're all really happy to meet you. I just want you to feel like you have somewhere to say how the women in the survivor community have treated you in the last few years and how it's horseshit, basically.
where do I even begin? Well, I started this whole journey for myself. Not for myself, but well, part of it's for myself. I stayed silent for 27 years about some of the stuff I went through as a child and stuff, and there was some great women. I met these Rebecca girls, and they helped me out tremendously with, figuring out how to navigate the TikToks and all that stuff. For three years, I never had one issue. Never, because I kept it simple. I kept it about the children. I didn't try to bash religion or bash anything like that. So, I had it pretty easy at first, and then I met somebody that reached out to me, and she was interested in my story, and that's kind of where the craziness started happening. This woman got infatuated with me to the point to where she like started extorting me, like saying if I don't say this or that or do this or that, she was going to ruin my name. And I was actually scared of her because I had worked so hard to build this brand for myself, and we had this documentary coming out and all this other stuff. But then it got absolutely wild. But what was crazy about the whole situation was that when this happened, I ended up seeing the crazy in it, and I ended up blocking the person. About a day or so later, a person that I did one of my first podcasts with reached out to me and said, "Hey, this woman's looking for you. She's wanting to talk to you." And I said, "Okay, I'll reach out to her." So I reached out to her, and when I did, she's just straight up told me that you need to get this person out of your life. She is dangerous, is exactly what she said. And I said, "I've already done that." Well, she told me that this person was threatening to off herself on Reddit and stuff. So, and I'm a compassionate person. So I unblocked her and I reached out and said, "Hey, are you okay?" And then it just snowballed from there. Over a year period, I would start hearing things from people saying that this person was saying these bad things, starting these Facebook pages that was just solely about me. And then she started creating this narrative about me that I was like extorting women and stuff and all this stuff. And that is absolutely not true. And that put me, the stuff that she did to me absolutely put me in a deep like depression, because truthfully, my whole life, I've always kind of cared what people thought about me. And I didn't want people thinking these things about me. And it got to a point to where I was actually I was self-medicating myself and doing this stupid stuff. And what was crazy about it is when I started this journey, I quit drinking and stuff. And I remember that when I used to wake up crying about how did I get home last night? I was wasted. When I was like, I'm going to end up in prison. I'm going to absolutely end up in prison if I keep this lifestyle up. And then when I came out about my story, something clicked. It made me, I just quit drinking. And then this person just caused so much. I mean, this woman I'm bouncing all around the place, but you guys can ask me questions. But this
You
woman
are
has,
doing wonderfully because the thing is that we believe you. The reason that we are talking
I
to you is
have
because we know
absolutely
that what
proof
you
of
are saying
everything.
is
Am
true.
I allowed to speak up here real
Yes,
quick?
you can say
Also like
something.
to
Yeah.
say that John and I had been Facebook friends before we ever spoke, and we spoke the first time when this insanity went nuts. And I immediately, because I feel like this person found out that we had befriended one each other, but we had been friends for a while. I've been a victim of this person as well, to a level of
Well,
insanity.
she's victimized hundreds and hundreds of people. And I'm here to speak factual things. Everything that
And
I
that's
say,
what
I can
we,
back it up tenfold.
A while ago, like right after you and I spoke about this person, and because I was like, are we still talking about the same person? And we figured out it was, right? There was a podcast, right? And it was like there's this man that's in the community and he's a really bad person and it needs to be known, right? And I'm watching this podcast and they're not saying their name. And I'm like, and it featured a friend of mine. And I called this friend and I was like, who the fuck are you talking about? And they said you. And I was like, okay, this is some horse shit because it was a podcast, I guess it was the Holier Than Thou or something to do with, it was something to do with,
Yeah. I don't want to say names though. That they're, you know, the thing is with this is the people that I made friends with and I trusted with everything coming out about all this stuff. I realized that these people, all they want are fishing for content, and that's all they want. They don't care about who they take down in the process. And I realized that most of the people that I met had their own agenda. And my thing is, I've been a genuine person throughout all this stuff.
so you're
And
the scariest for them. You're the
yeah,
scariest for them.
and
You're
that
the
was the
biggest
thing.
threat
And
because you're genuine, because you put the work in, because you're a reputable person. You were in a freaking movie for us. I mean, not, you were in Teen Church. You were on HBO for us. Do you know what I mean? Anybody who wants to give you shit should shut the fuck up because you should have a gold fucking, you should have a purple fucking, Medal of Honor for, you know what I mean? 'Cause it's like, I'm not saying that you're infallible, but you've gotten no respect in the like from that, and it's atrocious. And it's not
and
like
that's my thing.
your
I
ass.
don't want no I don't even care about that. The what I want is I've got in here to fight for oversight for children to where they don't have to go through what I went through as a child, and to just to give people, to show them that they need to do their due diligence when they make these decisions for the children. Thing is though is I swear I feel like when I came out about this stuff I was like a little piece of meat dangling on a hook, and I was warned about this stuff. I was warned about these people. Now, the person that mainly did the stuff to me, no, but the other main characters in this whole thing, I was warned about them,
Yeah.
and so I kept to myself, and I even I tried to be friends with them, and I've even tried to forgive, who, and it's just what's crazy about that whole ordeal is, you know, I even went as far as I had so much evidence that she would have been in big, big trouble. But I chose not to even pursue it after I filed this stuff. And I did that thinking that, I don't know. I feel like if I keep doing good to somebody that maybe they'll learn from that or something and it might change them. But I don't know. This person is just, but like, let me get into this. I'll tell you what she's done to me though. She has sent human shit to my mom in the mail. She has contacted my ex-wives, the schools where my kids go to school at. She has contacted law enforcement and made these lies and these accusations about me. She has blasted my past on there to like a smear campaign. My thing is she has said racial things about children and saying, them half breeds and stuff like that. And it's like we're on here to represent these little people that don't have that big voice, and the thing with that is then she's saying this crap. It just shows that they have their own agenda. Like they spend more time wanting to sue somebody and bash them and gang stalk them and all this other stuff. And then the big picture of being in this whole community is to help people, right?
Right. Yeah.
To make these videos and show people that it's okay to come out, it's okay to express your feelings. But no, it's been like I've been having to keep my head. I've been like literally drowning, trying to keep my head above water with this because I keep telling myself just to get away from all this stuff, fuck it. But I can't. I've spent so much time, and I can't let somebody, just beat me down like that. I gotta. I know in my heart that I didn't do these things that she says I did, and I did, when I got in trouble, I did get in some trouble. I allowed some stuff to happen, and because over to somebody I loved, I allowed them to take advantage of me, and it's got me in trouble. And then she uses that to like feed her narrative. And it's just sad. It really is. To me, is like, if I see somebody struggling like that, I'm going to reach out to them and ask them, what can I do to help you? Are you okay? Are you, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to sit there and bash them and just keep, you know, just adding to their misery already.
Like the way that they deal with each other, like the way that they're talking, like it should be screaming fucking red flags to anybody that's a professional, but no one's watching.
There's seriously, I'm not a doctor or anything, but there's mental issues going on.
No, because I've had my normal people look at it when they're talking about me, and they're like, they're being so obvious. Like there's such obvious cult behavior. They're being super obvious who they are. Like what? It's like puzzling. Like are they trying to? And it's like, because it's who's gonna stop them?
If I was talking to you and somebody was contacting somebody that abused you, and I would be irate, man. You know what I mean? Like, but this person contacted the person that abused me as a child and did all these things to me, and was belittling me to this guy, and I have proof of all this because she sent me all the screenshots and she made videos about it. She used to have websites and all this stuff up. And then when I got fed up with the stuff and I started showing the truth, that's when all this stuff started coming down, But I got like 2 years of straight of all this. I mean, and at one point, and this is what's sad about it, at one point, I was like, the only way that I can make this person pay for what they've done is to take my life.
I know,
and then
that's when I was saying, like, that's when I was really worried about you. Like, that's when I was like, I'm so, like.
I've been battling this in my life. I've had some tremendous things happen, especially with losing, family members and stuff, and she even belittled when my dad died. She was even making fun of that stuff, and it's hard, when you've had so many family members die, siblings and stuff.
And this becomes our entire world, and this is what becomes your whole life, and then like you've lost all your real friends, and now everybody hates you, so you're completely alone.
Yep, and that's what I do now. Is I end up isolating myself, and it's ruined my relationships, and she did ruin my relationship with somebody. I mean, I did it on my own too. Like, it's not just her, but it was one of the main factors in the whole. I mean, it's absolutely nuts. It wasn't just like every other day or every other week. It was every single day, 24/7. Somebody that liked a post of mine. If she thought that we talked or something, she was going to contact this. I had people over a 2-year span. I'm talking about probably a good 100 people ask me, I don't even know who you are, but can you get your girlfriend to stop doing that? I'm like, it's not, and I have to explain this to them all, and it's just like, oh my God, I'm so sick of explaining to them what's going on, but I have a true, and it's not I don't hear from the person no more. Well, at one point, even though there was no contact order, there was still there's thousands of numbers she's reached out to me through, but she was also, hundreds of emails, and just she subscribed to anytime I got in trouble or whatever, it would notify her, and it was just crazy. She paid some of these fines with her money and put like my abusers' names as the people that paid the fines and stuff. What kind of crazy shit is this, dude? Like, contacted my mom, sent her human feces in the mail. I mean, there's nothing crazier than that. I mean, that's fucking. My mom is 70, in her late 70s, going blind and shit. She can't be dealing with this shit, and it's to torment somebody like that. And then she's trying to get my children, calling her school and stuff, saying all this stuff, and it's turned me into a person that I don't know who I am no more. Like, I don't even know how to really be a father like I used to be. I used to be this loving man that would just, and now it's just hard for me to. All I know to do is to stay busy and work now, like that's how I deal with my depression. And it's just, and at some point you're just too tired to do anything. And then that's when it really hits you. And then all these thoughts and stuff happen. And But I wish, it would stop, but
No, you're gonna like, and that's the whole thing is that, like, you're supposed to have like the community to freaking hold you up and be your friend, not like literally make you want to freaking die. And that's like been the terms like survivors hurt survivors has been around for way longer than I've been in this community, and you'd hear it over and over and over again.
I haven't been mean to note one person since this journey, and even the person that's doing this crap to me, all I've done is been nice and begged her to stop. It's all I've pleaded. And back in the day, I was a crazy guy. Like, man, I'd have, But anyways, what's crazy to me about all this stuff is the Bethel Boys. We don't monetize our stuff because we don't want somebody sitting through 15 minutes of ads to watch our videos. So we do these videos to inform people, to give them up, to see the inside of all this stuff. But when these people start taking your videos and throwing them on their website and monetizing your videos, and I'm helping people out of my pocket, which I'll do it no matter what, and these people are making these hundreds of thousands of dollars but can't spare a dollar to help somebody out. It's like, why aren't you helping out with this money that you're getting in donations and stuff, like
Right,
it's
and
like
then it's run by somebody that didn't really go through an entire program, doesn't know actual real pain, and is actually very,
oh,
very like wealthy.
well, there you go. I mean, when you're up the upper echelon, I mean, you're able to call the news and do things for yourself, and it's like,
And pay
I'm
for your
sure.
book to be to be on the bestseller list. Do you know that? Do you know that Meg Applegate freaking paid for her book to be on the best by buying enough of her own hardcover?
What's sad about that is I would share her stuff and all the time, and I couldn't get her to share nothing of mine, and she, it was just, I was so adamant about just helping every single person out, even her and
I
all
think
these
that
people
she
reached out to
used
me
to
and want my story.
compromise. I believe that she used to be a good person, and about 5-6 years ago, she got compromised.
Well, the thing is that reigning of power, I guess they feel power off, I'm the most abused person in the world. Like,
No, but they don't even do that. They weren't even abused. Meg Applegate went to a fucking fat camp. Paris didn't go through CEDU for even a month. You know what I mean? Like, these people didn't graduate their programs that they're like supposedly like the representative of. Do you know what I mean? None of the people that are like in the head of, the community graduate any of this shit. The only one that did is somebody that I'm not going to be mentioned because she's going to get freaking attacked.
See, trauma's trauma. I don't put no rating on trauma because once you affect somebody's brain or something like that, I mean, it's there. But hey, I'll tell you this right now. If these women want to know about some true trauma, you look into the Bethel Boys and see what the fuck we had to go deal with. You know what I mean?
Because
And
that's the thing. Everybody wants to be like, oh, don't don't throw your trauma around. Don't compare stories. What is the word they say? Don't fucking, I don't know, like, that, like, saying your story is, like, hurtful. There's a word they use. I don't even know.
Well, the thing is, for us, the reason I share my story is because the people that did this shit to us to this day has been in trouble. So this is why we put those stories out there, is to we're trying to help these people. I have forgave the guy that did this shit to me, but I can't forgive what he did to other people. So
No,
I'm
but
going
the
to
whole
put
thing
that.
is that when people think that like I had the same experience that you did, I had nothing. I had fucking Scientology summer camp next to you guys. Do you know what I mean?
We didn't
Like,
work. We were slave labor.
that's a reality. Do you know what I mean? It's not. So it's like when we're as adults, like dealing with each other, we have to realize that there's a certain level of what people have actually went through. I had a level of, from 1 to 10, I had a 4. You, sir, had a fucking 12. So
Well, when you're choosing from, do you want to be isolated or do you want to be drowned? I mean, it's a whole, you know what I mean? Like,
you didn't have, like, they didn't let you cry. You know what I mean? They drowned you over and over and over again.
and that's what's crazy about it, is it took me years to start.
Had it so much worse that it should be recognized. You know what I mean? So.
And that's what's sad about it, is I never learned how to cry until I came out about this shit. And like, I became this totally empath. I mean, I've always been a really big empath, but one of the reasons I started drinking is because I have probably a social disorder when I'm around a lot of people. The alcohol helped out and stuff, but when I came back, they drowned us there, and I got back, and 2 months later, my brother drowns in a boating accident. I went through this. I had to sweep all this shit under the rug and make sure, And throughout the years, I'd get drunk, and I would come out, and it was nobody wanted to hear it because I was drunk, and it was just one of them deals, I didn't ever come out about it right and stuff, and then I finally come out about it, learned how to cry, and I tell you something, I tell everybody this. Crying does really good for you. If you got it, it does something chemically to you. I don't know what it is, but once you release all that stuff, it helps. It really does help. And there's a reason why your body does that. And I think it's magical. Something's magical about the whole deal. But I don't know. I wish I would have learned how to do that a long time ago. But people like them, they don't. Maybe they need to cry a little bit more or something. But they make you not even want to, I mean, they've almost ruined all this for me, and I had another whole platform. I've deleted so much stuff, and then I had to come back and get, snap. Like, I can't let these people get over on me like this, But what's sad about it is I met all these people and stuff, and made friends to all these people and stuff, and then I realized that everybody was so fake. Like, everybody was so fake. Everybody just wanted content. Like, and then all these lies get started. Like, oh, he did this to me. And it's like, what is going on here? Like, and it's just sad. It's just sad. And then they try to discredit you and all this other crap. And it's just like, but I've had so many people like, that's been like, John, you don't let them get over on you like that. And they've been real supportive, like, cause I'm thinking when they say this stuff or they do these things, then everybody sees it, and I don't realize that not everybody sees it and not everybody believes it. And
no,
the people that really know me knows I don't.
I immediately believed it because you showed it me, like the websites, and I was like, holy shit, this smells like somebody right above this person that I know this person's making this person do. You know what I mean? And
What's crazy is I got reached out to by a certain someone. And they even told me that Meg Applegate reported something and got something taken down that was about me, but I don't know how true that was. It was these. And right now they're all. You seen what I did when I called them out. You know what I mean? Like, shit, I called them all out.
I personally think that Katie is our fucking handler. I don't know if you know anything about Project.
I don't give a fuck. They can come at me. I don't give a fuck legally or whatever. I don't give a fuck. I speak
don't think
facts.
That Katie ever went to fucking anywhere. Think about, okay, I want you to think about the hypothetical, right? Of in the age of the internet, if the American troubled teen industry, my theory is the American troubled teen industry is a fucking conspiracy, just like any other conspiracy. It doesn't need to be existing. It's only been there since the war on drugs, right? It's
all this shit's weird. Like,
we do not need to be existing. Do you know what I mean? Like, but we are an eighth American economy. Does it not make sense that when the internet would come around, right? That in the age of internet and exploration, that maybe they were afraid that this would get fucking discovered, and they put somebody in place to fucking be in charge of absolutely everything that we do, and give them a job at Cisco for cybersecurity. And then when Paris Hilton gets involved, that's the first person that's involved with Paris Hilton, because that's what I think we're dealing with.
It's that. Well, the troubled teen industry right now is a multi-billion-dollar a year industry, and people are going to profit off of it any way they can. So if they build these brands and shit, that's all there is. It's like, build a brand. Here's some perfume in a bag that has my name on it. Show it on the internet. Maybe I could sell more of it. Like, it's fucked up, dude. Like,
that's nothing, but we don't get anything.
Why does money not go back to some of these people that need help? Like,
exactly.
It's just like these. It's like the private prison system. It's like it's made to profit one person, and that's it.
Yeah,
one
entity. And
entity.
it's like, I do not want to sit here and make Paris Hilton richer and richer every freaking year that like this goes on.
It's a joke. All that shit's a joke, and it's just they're just as bad as the people at Randy's facilities. You're talking about, look at these people like Lester Roloff and then the Herman Fountain. This Herman Fountain was the prodigy to this guy that was the kingpin of all this shit. And I have news articles where they were selling babies on the fucking in the Piggly Wiggly's supermarket.
That was a bitch.
There she
I had
is.
to
She,
join
okay,
through the
okay, all
link.
right.
I'm so
Okay,
sorry.
Megan,
I had to
he got a
join
lot of
through the
talking in. I
link.
don't even think he noticed that you were gone. So
Okay. I don't know where you are. I'm so sorry. I know most of his story. I apologize.
We just got Megan back. Okay, but she's gonna be quiet and let Moody talk. Okay.
Why don't you guys ask me some questions?
We're so yeah, like we know that like we both saw you in the way that like how I met her was that like I could tell that she was getting fucked with by the fucking mean girl.
Yeah, that's how I came into the picture. Kari assembled me. Avengers go.
And that's kind of like
It's
you
exhausting telling
I
people
realized,
this shit over and over. So it's like even the good people that you're just trying to reach out to, it's like, oh fuck, I gotta explain all this shit again. Like,
well, I feel like
it's a
I was privileged in the fact that like I know like a lot of the internal workings of what's going on, and like I feel like I can vouch that you're a very decent human. Like you've never been like not decent, and you've never tried to extort shit from me, but like be there if I had a crash out or near. Like there's times like I've been there for you randomly. Like that's just we don't call it survivor thing, but that's just something we do for each other when we find each other.
well, that's what I thought this whole community was. Is people just like I don't know.
and it's
I don't know.
supposed to be, but yeah, but I think that is I think that that has led to the making of.
Did he touch on being feeling like he's been
purpose? But I mean, that's what this is. We're definitely dealing with like a mini Paris Hilton cult.
Did he
I just
touch on
don't
the
get how a
fact that
person can obsess. Like I don't see how somebody can obsess. Like it wasn't just every other day, every other week. It was every single day, night and day. Somebody that was that liked a post of mine or was related to me or I was dating was going to get fucked with. They were getting fucked with. I'm talking about this person put personal information out. I could change my phone number somehow. She would find it out. She would be blasting my number, what my career was. Like she was contacting my job. Like
she made a
it's fucked
website?
up.
It sounds like
Websites,
Well, we don't know if she
Facebook
made
pages.
it, but a
You made a
website was made
LinkedIn.
in the same
to make
time
other people
frame.
do shit. It sounds like one person, yeah.
I was extorted. They took a picture of some random guy's junk and then took a picture of me and said that I was doing this and that. And they were like, and I showed y'all, should I post
It's
this?
not even like it does. It's
If you don't send me that money, I'm gonna post this. I'm like, I said, fuck to post it. I'll show the cop my dick. Like, what the fuck you want me to say?
because it's not even a good like edit. Like girls, you could have tried a little hard to make it look.
I'm like, look at that
really
man's
good.
knees. That's an old man's fucking wiener. Because I look at his knees. They were all like, man, just come on. Like,
No, but
Why are
it
we
just
talking
wasn't
about
even
dick
the right
pics?
proportion for like a Photoshop.
I haven't
They
zoomed
didn't
in on
even use
anything.
Photoshop, like.
I believe it. AI slop.
No, it wasn't a slop. Like they literally tried to cut and paste, like using edits or something to make it look like.
Probably so they couldn't get sued, so it wasn't an actual anatomical belonging.
Yeah, it's bad. Yeah,
it's wild. It's super wild. Like,
I mean, no, it's just like,
when I took it to the police department down here, I mean they were like they couldn't believe this. Like it took them. They had to come back several times. Like they just was not getting the how toxic this was for my life. Like, and then they realized it, and then they started taking it serious. And
good.
but
Well, I had
So
to contact
you
the
can't
chief
name
of
names, and I
police
think
in
that's pretty good 'cause
Connecticut.
She can't name names either.
dude, they were
so.
hateful. All of them were hateful to me. All those ones in Stanford or Stafford or whatever the hell it was. That's who I dealt
They
with.
didn't
And
respond to me, but I saw a shift in behavior from the opposing personnel afterwards, and more
It
desperate
was Sergeant
than
something
anything.
the one I dealt with, but yeah, he just she's
Captain,
friends with all
chief,
them up there.
sorry, chief.
She's
The
friends with
chief
all
of
them up
police
there.
has the emails, and I have the
I got her where the person brags about how she got the judge changed in the whole deal to where it benefited her. Like
I've got where she's erasing me off Reddit, saying she's doing it for John Moody while she's seeking a protective order violation against him.
Yeah, it's crazy, dude.
It's
I'm telling you.
I'm glad you erased me from that dirty ass playground of Reddit, bitches. Sorry.
Like I try to explain this shit to people, and like nobody knows. Like it's just wild. Like.
And him and I have never met. Let's also make that
this
clear.
has affected my life. I mean, it's literally
this is a cult. This
about
is
taking
like
my life.
literally a fucking Somebody explained it to me when I was talking about trying to figure out MK Ultra or whatever, that like we are the Constantine era of MK Ultra. That like this is like what like post and like what happens like after like it's like I
Did
even
he
had
tell
a
any of
theory.
his
I have
TTI
a small
story?
theory that the Breaking Code Silence movement taught the world what cyberbullying was.
Oh, this was, dude. If I was in anybody else, I was like, man, there's multiple people doing this shit, and kind of find out this is her.
Nobody
Like,
knows how to fucking
Can
be
it's
an
like,
can we
internet
how could
survivor,
somebody
right?
spend that much time doing this shit to somebody?
can we have a moment for the fact too that they're no longer discriminating while they're deplatforming, and they're trying to make it so men don't have a voice in our community, and then when they
We
do, they
talked
do
about
this to
this.
them.
We talked
Okay,
about this when you were away,
good.
yeah.
Okay, good. I needed to know if we touched on that.
No, because that's
Did
that's like why we want to talk to him is because Rocky was the only person that would be in my documentary because that wasn't from CEDU, that wasn't from my school, and he told me a lot about Castle by the Sea, and Castle by the Sea was very similar to he got assaulted, and like I would see him later like try to relate to the females who were assaulted, and they were like, oh, you're a man, don't say that, you're triggering, you can't have those, and it's like I knew for a fact that he should be able to relate to them. He wasn't being creepy about it, he was being kind, and he was getting ostracized for it, and it was like really stupid.
You know, there's been a lot of women I've talked to, and they're like, "Oh, we never went through what you went through." But my thing is the physical stuff was after over time that was easy to deal with. My shit was the mental shit. That mental that that shit fuck anybody up, and I'm telling
Yep.
you right now, it fucked me up. Like, and to this day, I probably still have that Stockholm syndrome shit. I have letters in these deals to where I was writing and tell. Like I legitly felt sorry for these people that were abusing me. I was praying for them and shit. And I've been in these volatile relationships and allowed these people to fucking just to treat me horribly. And I'm
but
just
like
glad it dealt with the
if
shit, And I
if
just thought it was the
this
right thing to do.
if this person did this to me and I don't even know you like that, like we've never met, there's nothing there. Imagine what that means for him ever having a companion as well. He's fucked.
I mean, I've had a,
And we
I've
don't
had,
talk
I've,
about that
I've
either.
I thought I found the one person that we never fought. I was like, I finally am being loved right by one person, and it felt so good. I was such in a good place in my life. And then I had this person ruin that shit.
Right.
Straight up fucking ruin it. Like,
No, the survivor community's almost cost me my relationship I've had for 12 years. Like, CEDU, like, is
every single day she was fucking
and the
harassing her.
community definitely is like a huge issue for my boyfriend and I. Yeah.
But like my
Which,
husband just screams he doesn't want to hear about it.
and that's the problem is I was upfront about it. I said, I'm into this, and she was patient with all the stuff, but I allowed it to get me into a point to where I was not functional as a person, and that's where it became where it was my fault. I can't just blame it all on her, saying, "Hey, it was this. She did all this shit to me. I'm blaming it all on her." No, but it was a catalyst to start the downside of all that. My
But
failure
I
to
think
do.
that
Yeah,
you were demonized monster. You were made a
I
monster
still
when
am
you were
being.
no
Yeah, no,
longer
that's when that's
convenient.
no, that's the point of that's why we wanted to talk to you. Was we wanted to like this is like setting the record straight. Like I want to
I've
talk
had
to people
multiple
that have been.
conversations with him. I've never felt uncomfortable. I've never been extorted. He's never asked me for money. I don't think he's ever talked about finances with me. Like that's just not something. I mean, we talk about him building a pool and how he's stressed out, or like vent for each other or there for each other, because sometimes people just need a fucking soft landing and that's all it is. But like it's wild to me, and it's why like never mind, done.
No, but the thing is also we are three totally different like astrological signs of the troubled teen industry, or like blood
Yes.
types, or fucking like
He told me
we
his story.
like
It's
there's and
incredible.
then if you add the other schools, there's even more different flavors. You know what I mean? Like we all are
Yes.
totally different adults based on our schools, because our schools were really different from each other.
Very much. From my understanding, yes. Because
But
I
yeah,
know
no,
And
someone
I don't
you're
really what mine was. What hurts me the most is the stuff I've seen. It's not even. I think there's different levels of like trauma, and I think some of the stuff is witnessing things, and like that's what really gets me is there's not a day that's went by in my life that I haven't thought about the little boy that I seen drown and the fucking the shit that I seen at Bethel with the
Hear that.
beatings and the drownings and the torture, and then getting out of there. My brother's just the cries, like it's just I every day. Like I don't care what anybody says, but there was a lot of things that I did lock away. I was like, nah, there's no way that I'll never forget something. Something that's and I did. And I don't know.
No, I've heard many hours of what Bethel was like, and like enough to feel like I have a small amount of understanding of what it was like, and that's why I say it's like you deserve. It's a different Tranquility
So,
Bay and your school
We
are like
talked
a
about this
12.
before you got on. Actually,
Twilight
we
Zone.
were discussing this. Like, not that there's like different leagues of survivors or whatever you want to
No,
call
but
them,
it's
but
like
like I
because you
feel
should
like what
also
you
be
went through
wary of
was like,
how we deal with each other. We have to know, like, if we're gonna be dealing with each other as adults, we need to know each other's triggers. Like, he has no clue about like my musical triggers. I mean, mine are really
no.
extreme because I think it's because I'm a musician. I just can't hear music anymore unless I'm picking what it is. So
Yeah.
like, but that
I'm
like,
the
and I know
actually
that's the like,
I'm the same way. Like a
are
song has to
you?
have certain. Well, I'm in a way like somebody's not gonna say, "Hey, listen to this song." Most of the time, I have my own genre of music in my head that I like, and it has to have a certain sound or a certain like theme to it, or a certain kind of. I don't know. I don't like a lot of the shit. I've never been a person that listens like I was growing up listening to talk radio and shit like so I never really had like the music background, but when I listen to music, it has to be certain things, and it's things that somebody might say, "Hey, listen to this" or something. I might be forced to listen to it or whatever. Sometimes I might like it, but I search for my own shit, like I don't.
But did they do like the aversion? Did they like make you listen to recordings or songs over and over and over again?
No, they made us watch movies over like the only movies we got to watch. So like Empire Records,
What were the
I cannot
movies they
stand
made
this
you
shit.
watch?
Do what?
What were the movies they made you watch? Were they heroes' journeys at all? They
It's
like
just two movies, and one was Empire Records, and I think Armageddon was out when that Armageddon over and over and over and over and over and over. So when those
that's
two
so
fucking movies
random.
can't
I
stand
don't
that
know.
shit. Yeah, it was
That's
Armageddon
so
and Empire Records.
random. Those two movies they made you. I mean, I guess they kind of are heroes cycle. They kind of. I mean, Armageddon actually does follow
Like,
Joseph
what?
Campbell's hero cycle.
But I don't
And you
get
know
what
Like
what?
I
because
see
So
it.
does Empire Records. Both those movies actually do follow Joseph Campbell's hero cycle, if I think about it,
Because
which
you
is
were
what's
talking
weird.
about
weird.
that before he got on.
So they didn't when I was there. They had different eras of Bethel, and like they didn't. It wasn't always like the military style. It's been through different phases, But when I was there in the '90s, it was the drill instructor night. It was the Marine Corps stuff, Like even before you get off orientation, we went to boot camp. I mean, and I was like one of the longest. I was on it for about 3 months. And shit. The first month I was there, I slept in a hole in the ground and shit. And it was hurricane season and fucking. It was wild. Like, but
Was there an element of you had to become staff to graduate or become like a leadership role
no, I
to
was
graduate?
the one of the youngest kids there, so I was constantly getting beat up or picked on. So I was always defending myself. Thing is, I got really good at getting my ass whipped, so that helped me out later in life. So I learned how to fight. People tell me they whoop my ass. I have had that ass whipped a bunch of times. But
Do
no,
you
it just makes
remember?
do what?
So you weren't. So were you there? Who were you in Teen Torture Inc. with? It's Alan, right?
Alan Noel and Dave Boucher.
So when you
Me and
were in
Alan
the
Noel was
Alan
there.
Noel,
Yeah, Alan
I
Noel was there
talked to
with me.
somebody as soon as Teen Torture Inc. came out. There was somebody that kept on commenting on Alan's page, and I forget his first name, but he was like, "Hey, it's me, it's Seizure Boy." So I guess was there a guy that I don't know if you were you at the same time with Alan, but there was somebody that famously had a seizure problem and he would pass out.
I don't remember. I mean, some of that. I mean, there was always somebody having a seizure, doing something.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
he had found me because he was trying to talk to Alan. I was like, hey, I know that he just got done with Teen Torture Inc. He's probably not checking his message, but so I talked to him probably for a good 12 hours. Because he told me extensively about your place. It was pretty freaking wild. I mean, I
yeah.
haven't
Me and
talked to him
Alan Noah.
since,
Hey,
but
so
he's
Alan
not
Noah was the
actually an
youngest.
hour.
Alan Noah was one of the youngest kids there. At the time, he was the youngest kid. There was a kid that was younger than that, but he ended up getting shipped off somewhere else. But what was crazy about my story is they thought I was older than I was, so I was stationed with all the older kids and shit. So I was constantly getting fucked up and beat up and shit. And then they realized, like at the end of my stay, that I was this age, and they were like, "Holy fuck," you know. And then they were getting DHS was coming up there quite a bit, you know, doing walkthroughs and shit. So they ended up putting me in where I was supposed to be at. Shit, it's just crazy. It was crazy, dude.
If
I'm telling
DHS
you,
is
there
there,
was
that
no.
tells me it's state funded.
No, that's the thing is
How
that
old are
they
you?
they didn't have no control there. All if they did anything, so he's been rated. He's had kids taken out of that facility. He's been shut down 5 times, but he's never been in trouble. So I don't know how or what the fuck. Like, so there was kids that were court ordered there, but I don't know how he went about it because they didn't really have no control in there. If they seen something or whatever, they might pull the kid out, but they wouldn't do nothing to him. He's
But if they
never
were
been in
court
trouble. He's
ordered, they could
never
be a
been in
ward of the
trouble.
state. They could be a ward
They
of the
they
state if they're under a court order.
Well, how do you take out so many over the years? How do you take out all these kids because you see abuse stuff going on, and then this guy's not getting in trouble for it? Tell me that. How did Barbara Walters do a story on this shit and this guy and nobody did? What the fuck? Like it's like
Do you know that Barbara Walters' children went to CEDU? Barbara Walters had 2 daughters that went to my school. They went.
they
They
called
went.
us.
They went
She
to
called
North
us
Carolina
misfits.
Academy.
We were into sex and drugs and fucking. That's what she states when she does the end of the deal. But you know, it's crazy even back then. You know, they could say the N word back then on the radio, on the air and stuff, and how he's like, I love my little N boys, you know, and it's just like what?
No.
Like he owned them. Like he was like,
No.
what the fuck is going on here, dude? Like
What, were there black kids there? Is that what you're saying? And you called them the
he.
N-word?
So when you got off orientation, you went to the N crew. That was one of the only words we could say. We could say piss, damn, and the N word. And
Oh my
so
God, are you
when you
kidding
got off
me?
off
Wow.
orientation, which is boot camp, you went straight to the N word crew. That's what they called it. And yeah, there was black kids that went there. And then we had a black drill instructor. He was a special forces Marine, supposedly. He was a
Kari.
Marine. I have pictures of all this
So
stuff,
that
but
makes it so
and he
that
was
to
an
tell me so
affiliated
that
he was
you won't
affiliated
talk
Crip gang
about it
member.
because they don't want you to use that fucking word. That's insane.
But
It's
That's an
storming.
insane thing. That's insane. Oh, crazy. Wow.
yep, and then you know that was what. And then we had drill instructor not there, and he was like I said, he was an affiliated Crip
Storm's like
gang member.
just right
And
above
on
me.
his back, when he take his shirt off, he had a big old tattoo. It's like Motown Crips or whatever. But this dude was a gangster motherfucker, dude. Like he wasn't just like he was a thug. Like he wasn't just a Marine. He was a badass Marine, go boxer and all that shit. But he was a fucking born thug. Like this guy was born on the streets and shit, you know. And I mean, he had his gang members, buddies come down there and they would bet on fighting on us and shit, dude. Like, it was wild. We went to underground fights. We went to pit bull fights. I was one of the caretakers. If you look at Brock on YouTube, his name is Brock. He talks about it. Like, we took care of these dogs, you know, and if one of these dogs would lose, chop their heads off, drown the dog, like it's shit like that. It's just, and truthfully, that makes me sad as fuck thinking about that shit, you know, because the same pond that they would do that shit to us, you know, that them dogs were down in there, and you know, it's just sad. It's just fucked up, man. You know, it's like
The other
this. You
side
had
of my
all the
house is
tools in the
sunny.
shed to help somebody out, but you didn't use those. It's like, what the fuck? You made $88 million, $88 million, and you didn't help one motherfucker out, like. And if you think about the astronomical number of people it affected, you know, it didn't affect the kids that went there. It affected the parents, the children, the grandparents. Let's think about it. 20,000 kids went through that program. You start adding all the other people it affected there, you're talking about tens of thousands of people. Like, I don't know how he got away with this shit.
Megan, is there like a tornado behind you?
I don't know. It's going on?
Wizard of
It's
Oz is
sunny
happening
across
behind-
the street.
This is
It's
the first
sunny
day of
across
Wizard of Oz
the
is happening behind
street.
Megan.
Hey, it's 100 and
It's
like
sunny across
5
the
degrees
street.
here.
Yeah,
It's
it's
hot
black
here.
behind me. I'm just going with it.
Okay.
I'm about to go take a jet ski out, go up to the lake.
This might be how I die. Welcome to the armpit of America.
But yeah, I just like, I wanted you to feel like you know, like you had yours, because the thing is like, I believe you 100%, and it's like, it's, you know, because I've seen proof of it, and it's just, you know, I like,
I do want to say this.
I just-
Anybody that's watching this that does not believe me, reach out to me and I'll show you the facts. The facts. I'm not here to bash anybody. I'm not here to bash anybody or say that. I'm here to tell you the truth about what has happened to me about this shit, and I got
there's
everything to back it up.
You know,
we're just not going to do
that
this
the
today.
freaking people that have been basically people under Paris Hilton in the community freaking have been making people try to kill each other for like a decade, and it's fucking awful.
Also building websites about people, cyberbullying them,
They
making them
try- and they
unalive
do it by
themselves.
building
Like, let's
websites,
not
making
suing each
fucking
other
merchandise,
randomly,
fucking ruin-
getting
you know,
random
it's-
protective
So-
orders.
So
It's happening
check this
so
out.
many fucking
So the
times.
protective order that's on me right now. What's sad about that is I should have took it more serious, but I'm not a person to do that. I'm not spiteful and shit. So I warned her. I said, if you keep doing this, I'm going to get a protective order on you. Well, when I came out and
he told
showed
me about
everybody
this
the facts shit, she ran down there and hurry up and tried to get one on me. Well, what happened with me is I tried to be a part of that whole court deal, but they made it impossible for me to be a part of it. So I did what they're supposed to. I filed so many days before to do the virtual shit. Well, they didn't send me the link till 30 minutes before court started, and I had no response. I couldn't get nobody to tell me anything, so I didn't know. So I didn't know what to do, and I had to work. I wasn't able to schedule nothing for it. I was like, I'm just fucked, And then it's just messed up. And if you read it, there's nothing based on why there's no really nothing. But if you look at mine, and shit, I mean, if I've seen that,
I just want to say that I think it's wild that someone changes a Reddit bio every day with different threats against this man. Like that's crazy evidence. Like, I
had thousands of like pay to hire. She's told me that she's gonna have somebody come murder me. She's told me that she was gonna murder. She's trying to coerce me to kill myself.
John,
I'm telling you,
I
it's
posted
crazy.
some of those messages unredacted, and I was like, "This is what people are doing to people in the survivor community." I got a Facebook content strike on me because of her messages being threatening, saying I was authoring threatening messages. I appealed it, and they took the strike off, and like I'm still monetized and everything, but they tried to demonetize me over her own words.
They did me.
To you,
they did me.
You suffer on a regular basis.
I didn't see what I did. I'm not smart enough to do all that shit, so I didn't do that. I didn't appeal it or anything, and so I just
protect
whatever.
Facebook is not the place. I'm not posting on Facebook anymore. Facebook is just not. I don't know where. I don't know if we're making Discord. I don't know, but I'm not fucking going to TikTok, man. Fuck, Jesus. But
no.
I'm on YouTube. I'm staying on YouTube. It's in the fucking public. Fucking normal people interact. People, it's like,
What I like about TikTok is I've had so many people from like Mississippi that live in Lucedale and shit. Like how hidden this stuff. It's just crazy. I've had I
understand it, but like,
so many of
these. Life. That's like,
I have brought people from the 70s all the way up to the 2000s that went to Bethel. You know what I mean?
I'll be good on that.
He's like Trauma Ken. If Paris is Trauma Barbie, he would be Trauma Ken. Like he's an OG. He's an OG. Like he's done a lot in the community. He doesn't boast himself like that.
We know who the fuck he is. He's fucking Moody.
John Moody.
He's John Moody. We
AI
know
me.
He is. He's already famous. Give the man some fucking respect.
I know. Yeah. I hadn't watched Teen Torture Inc. I was too afraid to be triggered, and I did after I heard
the thing is, somebody was
on a positive note. You're a hero to the community. Tell us about Teen Torture Inc. Did you get to hang? Well, did you ever get to meet Evan?
Well, the whole Teen Torture Inc. thing is there was people tampering with that whole deal, and by the time that HBO, they didn't show half the shit that what should have been on there, and I'm good then they brought Bad Baby in there just to sell. That's how they would sell it. It's just I don't want to say anything crazy, but
Megan, I want
everybody
to hear
knows
Moody talk about it.
it's just not what it turned out to be. You know, and my thing is I was kind of sad because I I'm a Alan all has been a big voice. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking nut, but when it comes to like telling you exactly how things went down, I'm really good at that shit. And I wish I would have been at the very beginning of that, but they had a lot of years on me. You know, by the time that I was found, and how I even found out about, I didn't never got on the internet. So when my dad died, I just Googled Bethel Boys, and I seen pictures of me on there, and come to find out, these motherfuckers have been looking for me and shit. And they were like, oh, and then they tried to get me to, then I finally was convinced to make a messenger, and then this is how it kind of went down. But you know what's sad about it is I always bring up the Rebecca women, you know, and people like, oh, they're conspiracy theorists and all sorts of shit. I'm like, no, it's because they want somebody to listen to them. So when they get that 10 minutes of somebody to listen to them, they're going to try to tell you 20 years of trauma and stories in 10 minutes, you know, and that's where it sounds all crazy at. But if you actually sit and listen
And
to these people's
that's
stories,
what
dude, it's
just trying
sad,
to
dude.
hurt you.
These women's babies were taken away from them.
I think, are you hearing Sabrina's story or Barbara's story? Because I feel like
Barbara.
there are women that use their stories as weapons, and those are specific ones.
Barbara Ann she was one of the ones that took me under her wing about learning how all this stuff, and you know, there's a few others.
But I can't associate with her because she would tag me and my sworn enemies in the same.
Well, it's the whole religion thing, you know. When you're trying to get oversight and you're trying to fight for things, you know, especially with when it's, you know, everything's political, you can't go in there and start bashing a religion. You can't take somebody's faith away from them. Nobody's going to listen to you if you start trying to bash a religion. You got to. It's strictly about the children. That's why I'm there for.
I'm an atheist.
Strictly. Well, the thing is like, I know. I'll say this is what I will say. These people use the word of God against you, you know, whatever, you know. But I'm not going to go in there and start bashing somebody's faith or none of that stuff. What they did is I go straight for the children. It's all about the children. It's all about the oversight. It's over about, you know, what can we do to make sure that these kids are being looked after and da-da-da. And, you know, I'll tell you another thing.
Are you one of the people that are still religious after this?
I've never been religious. And that's one thing my parents did. You know, I don't want to say I'm a God-fearing. I know there is something great out there, and I know that. So, and truthfully, I think that what the world made me go through this, like you can ask any Bethel guy, I shouldn't even been there. I think I was back talking to my mom, you know. That's why. And actually, I'll tell you the story how I got sent there.
Your program was religious. No, your program was religious.
So my first day there, I got strung up to a tree for having a New King James Version Bible, and they whipped me for it. But how I ended up at Bethel was I was getting picked on in school. The school system failed me as a child. They pushed me out of the classroom because I was acting out because I was getting picked on. ADD, wore glasses. Well, that caused me to go see a child psychologist. Well, seeing this child psychologist, this guy was trying to groom me. His name was Dr. Rhines. Supposed to be this great, one of the top child psychologists in the United States, wrote these books, da-da-da-da. Well, he asked me can I say it? I'll tell you what he said. Can I say it? He asked me,
go ahead.
Do you think fucking a girl in the pussy is the same thing as getting your dick sucked? When I was 11 years old, he asked me this shit. Right at that moment, I knew that something was majorly wrong, and he wouldn't even look me in the eyes after that shit. He was trying to groom me to see how I'd react to that shit. Well, next thing I know, he's walking me out in the hallway, and he hands my parents that brochure. And that's how I ended up at Bethel. He was trying to create distance between me and him to where he wouldn't get in trouble. Years later, though, when I get out of this program, I'm an adult. My mom goes, well, guess who's in prison? I'm like, who? Dr. Rhines. Guess what for? Child molestation. So, and I can tell you, I mean, he's seen kids that was like, you know, they were on the spectrum, nonverbal and shit, you know, and these kids could never tell somebody that this guy raped me, you know. It's sad, you know.
That's fucking crazy. Jesus Christ.
But I forced my parents to actually send me there, though.
How different my school is that there was a time that like the woman that Paris Hilton lies about, that I'm like, that she says that a CEDU staff freaking like stuck a finger inside Paris to check if she had anything in her, and it was like the most absurd thing because this woman just wouldn't do that. She's a monster. She ruined my life for over 2 years, but she just wouldn't do that because this is the kind of woman she is. When there was a serial killer that worked at my school for like a month, And like he got fired because he like I had a session with him and like he looked at me cockeyed and I felt uncomfortable and I told this woman and he was immediately fired. Like that's how different my school.
Well, you know, a lot of this stuff, you know, these people deserve to be, you know, prosecuted for the things they've done and stuff, but a lot of it is they can't prosecute people unless it's something like that. So, you know, so sometimes
Right, because
people are getting
And they've gotten better at
getting,
covering the evidence now, and the people with the evidence are out of the statute of limitations. So let's not bypass that part to take legal action. Because they put a 10-year parameter, and most of us don't know what the fuck happened to us within that period.
hey, listen to this
Right.
shit though. You know, when you become a preacher and stuff, you take an oath and it's a legal oath. And think about this. So if you start breaking that oath and all that other stuff, that's a way that instead of like going, you know, that's a way they can go after these people that, you know, that are using this religion stuff, you know, or saying they're preachers and stuff. Like,
I didn't know that.
there's a,
I
that's a
celebrated my
back
6th
door.
month of being a reverend yesterday.
So yeah, you take an
You know,
oath,
because
you
they
know.
can, that's the whole thing with like religious exemption. They could do whatever the fuck they want. Like there's, you
Yep.
know, they could really
Yeah,
do
but you still
anything
take
they
a
want
legal
with
oath and stuff that you'll do, you da 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 da. And if you break that oath, you know, and or do or something against that, they can the feds can go after you. That's how they was trying to backdoor
And they're
fucking
mostly
fountains.
whenever I see
That
comments
makes
about like you know these places and they're like, oh, they should just send them to places with the Lord should take. It's like that's the worst ones. That's the ones that involve the Lord are literally the worst ones
I had to go
that
to
I've
Man,
heard
Catholic
of.
school, so I'm on both sides of the spectrum. I'm a
I don't
Catholic
like
school
any kind of
girly, almost
organized anything.
went to Catholic
Because when they
college, but
can
I'm not
use a religion
practicing.
as an excuse to you
I
know.
went to Catholic school right before Bethel. It
Oh
didn't work.
really? Even yeah.
It didn't work. And they, you know what's crazy about that? They wouldn't even let me see. I couldn't since I wasn't Catholic. I couldn't receive offering, and I couldn't
Yeah, you can't
go
receive
to.
the sacraments if you're not Catholic.
I couldn't go to confession. I had to cross my arms. Like that's messed up.
Yeah.
Like, well, you're supposed to feed people that are whatever. Like,
I
I
cried
was,
at confession. The priest made me cry at my confession. It was awful.
but
It's
yeah, my
horrible.
parents never pushed religion on us. They let us explore what you know, and you know, so my dad, you know, he read the Bible and all that stuff, but they never forced anything on us, you know, and my parents were honestly really good people. Like, you know, people's like, no, why don't you hate your parents? Like, no, this was this they didn't have the internet then, and things were different then. And I pushed my parents to send me there because my dad was military, my family's military, and I wanted just to make my family proud, you know. And I thought going to a place like this and stuff, you would you know make them proud of me and shit. That was the wrong mistake.
Do
But
they
on the way
believe
down
you
there,
now?
do what? I
Do
never
they
got to tell my
believe you or like,
well, I never got to tell my dad passed away. My mom she's still traumatized by my brother deal and all that stuff. So I've never got to really tell her anything. I've tried to talk to her over the years. She just, I can't, it can't do it. So
My mom died
sad
before I
deal.
got an apology, and my dad called me and told me and goes, "I'm sorry, Megan, but your mom passed away." I took it in for a second on the farm, and I was like, "Am I supposed to be sad because I'm more angry? I'm never going to get an apology."
I didn't want an apology. I wanted
That
my
was
mom and my
thunderous.
dad to come up to me and give me a hug and say everything's going to be all right, you know?
Yeah,
my
no.
sister called me or like my sister texted me like 3 or 4 months ago and she was like our aunt died, right? It's my godmother, right? And I'm like, I haven't talked to my sister since the program came out because I was like, I'm like, watch it. And she's like, oh, I'll watch it in like a few months. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You're gonna watch like when the program came out. I'm like, you're gonna choose to watch a fucking documentary. It's kind of adjacent to my. I was like, I lost most of my family when
Hey.
the program came out because of that. And so when she texted me, she was like, tell me about my aunt dying. Somebody was like, my godmother. She was actually at my CD graduation. She's like, Aunt Judy died. And I was like, yeah, did you watch the program yet? She's like, no. I'm like, yeah, can you please do that? I think it's about past time that you've watched the program. I'm like, I don't give it, I don't want to talk about it. I don't really care. Like, I don't want to go see my MAGA fucking aunts and uncles in fucking Florida, go see some
But I
funeral. Like, I'm not going. But, like, have you watched the program yet? Because that's a little more
I feel like a lot of people in the program didn't get like their actual story told either. There's a lot of
Oh
confusing
yeah.
aspects. It's almost
What was
they
your so okay? We need to
sensationalized
shut up.
our stories before
What
we
were
had
you
a chance to
disappointed?
let people
Megan, I'm gonna
understand.
mute you. Okay. What was your experience in why were you disappointed in Tea Torture Inc? Like
Because not all of
what
us, not all of us was in the documentary. All these people that was in there that should have been in there, they didn't, you know. And a lot of people got discredited. They had to get kicked. They got kicked out of the film because of some of the charges they had whenever you know in the past. And it's just how they put that. You know, they had so much good content. They didn't use all the good content. It's just crazy, dude. Like
are you saying that people's like character is coming into question, saying that like they wouldn't that like because they might have had other things that
drug
they've done after
charges.
being in
Yeah,
bad kid school that they wouldn't be allowed to be in it?
yeah. It caused a lot of riffraff between everybody on that shit.
I love
And
my
you
post
know,
from this morning.
but there was a lot of people that went to Bethel that had trauma, but they were most of these guys that went to Bethel, they either are okay or either they're dead or they're homeless or drug addicts, you know. And it's sad, you know. It really is. Like every year, it seems like I came out about this shit. We've had several brothers die and to suicide, and you know, just
Your place is brutal. Your place is brutal. It's yeah, it's
you know, there's a kid named Sammy. Well, he's not a kid no more. He's a grown man. You know, he reaches out to me all the time, and he's still under the control of Fountain. When he left there, he had no family. So when he aged out, he ended up staying there. Well, he's under control of Fountain. Well, he would go away, and then he would get in trouble because, you know, he with drugs and stuff. We end up back on his facility, but he cries to us to come get him, you know, and save him and shit. It's just sad, you know. It's like he's still under that control. He's never. What's sad about it is he's never. That's where I'm talking about it. A lot of these guys, you know, it fucks your mental growth up in a way to where you still feel like you're living that stuff from then. I don't know. It's just like you never get past things. You
no,
can't get past shit, and you're
your friend
constantly
that I
living.
talked to your friend that I talked to actually told me that his mom had to fucking basically hire a psychiatrist. Like basically, a psychiatrist went to his mom and was like, "Your son is
Fair
fucked
say.
up, and it's from fucking Bethel. Did you send her?
That's
Did you remember
Alan.
sending him to Bethel?" And so he
Come here,
basically got reverse healed because his mom was like, "Hey, so psychiatrist has reached out to me.
So
We need to get you help."
he's the only kid that's ever got kicked out of that place. So
Do you
he
know
got
what
to
I'm
the point
talking
to where
about?
it's Alan Knoll. He got so null to the pain to I mean, they would waterboard this kid, and you know he's 10-year-old fucking boy, and he didn't care. He was fucking kill me, and they just couldn't
Right.
put up with it no more. And he would push these people just to fucking just hurt him, and then they couldn't put up with it no more, and they sent him to Agape.
So that's Alan's story. That's Alan
Mhm.
Knoll's story.
His story's fucking crazy, dude.
I didn't know he
Am
went to
I on
Agape.
You know,
I
He
went-
went to Agape.
So me and him and Dave Boucher had a reunion not too long ago up in the mountains up there in Washington and shit. And it's, I mean, if you still see the effects of what this shit's done. I mean, it's just like you're the same person I knew then. I mean,
Yeah.
especially when you get alcohol and shit involved. And the best thing I've ever done was quit drinking, dude. It saved my life. Like, because
No,
I would
like
get I was so violent. Like when it came, like I was the sweetest guy, but when I started drinking shit, I would just get angry about everything, and I would just.
I'm not saying that like this should be like a fun thing, like us all like, trying to do what we're doing, but like it shouldn't be literally making us want to kill ourselves and like ruining our lives like in multiple ways, in so many ways that we're just figuring out now. Like this should not be, you know what I mean? Like, and if you think about it, who is making this all happen? Why the fuck would somebody like that make all this happen? Like, seriously, everybody needs to start fucking thinking in a hypothetical situation because that's the only way it's going to make sense.
Why do you think society is so
Because
fucked
it's
up
like-
now?
Think about it. Why the fuck
Am I
would this
still
woman
mute? Am I on
continually
mute for this?
a decade make sure that she fucking gets involved in everything to fucking make everything fucked up? To control people, to make everybody hate each other and fight each
It's a
other.
multi-billion-dollar a year industry.
You don't even exactly. Do you know what I
I was
mean?
like,
She's
I haven't seen one dime from this shit. I don't want to see
No,
nobody from
Kari-
it. You know, when I
doing
talk about writing
this, and she
this
went
book
to
and shit,
Burma,
I was
but
like, I don't want no money from
finish.
it.
All of a sudden, she went to different. No one's ever fucking known her. There's no proof she's ever been to one of these places.
But when you got the power to
Yeah.
shut people up, man, it is what it is.
Well, yeah, it's crazy. It's like, I mean, I just hope, like, when I started this, I knew what this was. Like, and I've known, I don't know, maybe fucking, I don't know, when I left DC 2 years ago, I was like, this is bigger. I was like, I'm like, when I left DC and I realized, John, when I realized in the middle of the night that every one of those people that had shown up to be part of Paris Hilton Bill, that all those people had watched a video that Paris Hilton said she wasn't gonna be there, and they all pretended like it didn't break their hearts. They all just like pretended, play DC for whatever. Because I watched it at 2:00 in the morning, and I'm like, none of you said anything. Like, I was like, what the fuck was wrong with you people? Like, seriously, that's a cult. Like, Paris Hilton calls everyone to DC and she's not there. No one fucking says anything that they're mad about it. That's a fucking cult.
You know, Alan and them try to reach out to them about, you know, joining forces and stuff, and they didn't want to because it wasn't their brand. It was a conflict of interest on their brand and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck is the
conflict of interest? It's fucking.
It takes money away from them. It puts spotlight on somebody else and not the person. You know, it's fucked up.
It's like, why does she really? She does not need to be making more and more money. Who's
like, you're so smart, but you're so fucking dumb at the same time. Like, but I don't know. Money makes people look. I don't know. It's fucked up. It's crazy.
No.
I'm gonna have to get off of here.
Okay, it was wonderful to talk to you. I hope that you feel a little bit seen. I'm so a lot of this. It was, but thank you so much for talking to me. And yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you guys ever want pictures or proof of like Bethel stuff, I got.
I missed so much of it.
They said I was like one of the most documented kids that went through that program. Well, it's just kind of cool to see those things, you know. And
it's like, this bullying nonsense is going to fucking stop. I don't care how many people I have to interview. I will interview whoever the fuck wants to come on here who's been fucked with by Katie Mack.
So I bet you I have at least 70 women that's reached out to me over that.
Those people do it.
What are you doing, Elizabeth?
All righty.